Hello! Hello! Hi! Hi everyone, how's it going? Oh, actually I do need to change, I need to lower this. Music. There we go. Welcome in everyone to another Anno117 day, where we have been gifted a review version of Anno117. It is not a full version of the game. It actually gets deactivated as soon as the game is actually released. So I just want to be clear, this is a review version of Anno117 that was given to me. I do have to disclose those type of relationships. It is not a free version of the game. I will be having to buy the game myself if I want to continue playing Anno117. And I'm here to just show off a little more of the game. Hey, how's it going, Uli? Ember Light, welcome in. JJ, welcome back. And yeah, we got a lot to talk today. And I think we're gonna jump right into the game. I've been playing a little bit this weekend. My weekend's been very, very busy, of course, with all the Civ Give stuff that's been going on. And the 30-mile run that we did this weekend. I'm also trying to get a video about that out for the YouTube. And yeah, so in general, what we get to do today is I get to show you any part of the game. I get to show you the any start, the campaign, any point in the campaign, end game, building, sailing, exploring, fighting, military stuff. And I think the best way for us to do that is we've done previous games. Oh, and I can show you things like this, in like the Hall of Fame, where you have this minor Hall of Fame where you, based off of how you're playing the game in terms of you get to unlock different cosmetics, and there's also, I believe, Twitch drops on Twitch today. Let me just confirm that. So you should be able to get a free skin. Yeah. Let me put that in the Twitch channel specifically. If you guys are watching over on Twitch, you should get drops today. I believe that's by getting about 2 hours of watch time. But yeah, I don't want to dive too deep into that Hall of Fame stuff. I kind of want to just jump straight into a game and get started. So cheers, everyone. I got my morning coffee. I hope you guys are excited. Now, the last time we played, we ended up doing a sandbox game where we started in Latium and then we sailed to Albion. One of the biggest selling points for Anno117 specifically is the fact that you can actually have multiple different play styles. And I think I really want to lean into how replayable this game feels. So of course, campaign, I want to save that for you guys. The campaign, at least the first act that I played through, was amazing. I really enjoyed the characters, what was going on, kind of set up what was happening, why you were in Latium, why you were appointed governor, and why you also got expelled over to Albion. So there's basically two different ways to play Sandbox, and that is, hey, thanks for the follow. Requirements being a little bit higher than Civ 7. Oh, to talk briefly about the spec requirements, this game is running way better than previously. I'm able to run the game on high settings. Right now, I do have the settings turned down to low, just because I'm also running OBS as well as a little green screen and other things. And I don't want anything to kind of get tripped up. But in terms of my games, I've been playing on medium settings. I think they need to. I'm not sure if they officially released the. Hey guys, how's it going? What's the game about though? The game is about settling. Here, let's just jump into a sandbox. I'll jump into the sandbox and show you guys. I do have a bunch of videos actually online if this is your very, very first time seeing Anno. On my YouTube channel as well. I'll go ahead and give you guys a link to that. But Anno117, I'm going to jump into the sandbox. Now, when you start, of course, you have all these different leaders that you can be playing. First time, well, welcome in, welcome in. The general idea of any Anno game is it's a island hopping exploration. It is a 4X game, but it's more of an RTS compared to Civilization, which is a turn-based game. where you have to settle on islands, manage a town. It is a town builder, but it's a resource manager as well. And you'll see all these different islands have different types of resources that you can gather. You can settle on islands to gather more resources. You could trade with neighbors, or you can go to war with them. So it is a town builder, it's a resource manager, and it's a war game. All three of those tied into one. And I'll get to show you guys exactly here in a little bit. In terms of talking about specs, you should be able to play the game with a pretty standard PC very easily, especially on low settings. They seem they've done a lot of optimization the past year to get the game ready. You can war, and any Anno game, they're very famous for having very epic naval battles. In Anno117, they've also introduced land units, and I want to showcase that here today. So, if you guys want, we could of course start with campaign, but I really like leaving campaign for players the first time they play, to really get to explore and enjoy the game. So today, because I already have a live stream where we did the Latium start, I want to showcase the Albion start. And we're going to, of course, lean into the Celtic cultures that are now available here. I'm going to go ahead and I'll pick Marcus as our leader. Let me actually go back and make sure we set our name. Commodus. Commodus Nerdy. So, to be clear, this video is not sponsored. Like, they didn't pay me to make this video, but they did give me free access to the game to share my thoughts on it. So, stick around, and I'll show you everything that I can about this game to help you decide if you guys want to get into it, because it does release on Thursday. All right, so we'll play this on a normal difficulty. I'm still pretty new. I'm definitely need the easy settings. For me, that means full construction refunds. While you're moving buildings around, it doesn't cost you. You start with a flagship. There's a lot of fertilities for resources, and incidents are a little bit easier. So we'll keep this on here. And of course, I like the starting governors. Dorian is the most like chill, like muscle bro, like the guy that roots for you the entire game. Tarragon is also very friendly. He loves when you start building ships. And then Licia Ma is also a fantastic person to have in the game. I'm just going to jump straight into it, though. Let's go to province selection. So as we said, you can start in Latium. This is the Mediterranean island that was just cleared out by a massive cataclysm. Generally, and you'll see in a campaign, it's like a volcano, like cleared an island clean, and that's why you're the one that's set up to take care of rebuilding on that island as a governor. You are not the Roman emperor, to be clear. You are a small governor in charge of a island, and as you build that island up and you start to expand, you start getting more responsibilities. You do report directly to the governor throughout the game, or the emperor throughout the game. And then of course you can expand into other areas. Right now, the first place you can expand to is Albion. That is a Celtic-inspired island area. And we showed a case in the last live stream that you, of course, can start in Latium and then expand in Albion. But I want to showcase today that you can actually just start in Albion straight up. And there's a bunch of different ways to play the game. In terms of different pathways, whether you're trying to stay true to your Roman upbringings or you want to embrace the Celtic traditions. So I'm going to go ahead. The Albion is also the quote-unquote more difficult area. There's more barbarians, there's less fertilities, and it is the more difficult way to start the game. So in terms of your first time you play, I would definitely recommend you play campaign. If you want to jump into sandbox, start with Latium. That's the more classical Roman aesthetic, but we did live stream that. I want to showcase how replayable the game is, though. So we're really starting, like the next time you play, you can go ahead and jump straight into Albion and have a more of a rough start here.
I think this place is weird. All of that. But then if a Celt saw Latium, they'd probably feel the same. It's our home. It's ancient. Naturally, a Roman sees it running wild and wants to bring it to order, to heal. Expect a bit of resistance there, mind. It's two different worlds, sort of bound by fate, but divided in belief. Anyway, Albion knows how all that's meant to me.
So you see, this game is absolutely beautiful. This is freaking gorgeous, man. There is so much fidelity, and I do have to be, like, I have this on low settings right now. It is in 4K, of course. But you'll see here, I will actually very quickly, because you can change the graphic settings. I will not forget this time. Surely. We'll set this up to high just to kind of showcase what this is looking like. But the game is gorgeous, dude. You'll see here is our starting island, where we have a beautiful, beautiful mountain, this giant cliffside that we can build up to, and then also all these marshlands down this direction. Albion is unique. It is very, very different than playing in a Latium start. Latium is just a Roman island. Everything is very friendly. Everything is very fertile. Albion is a lot harsher. And there's actually multiple different ways to play. Before I forget, let me actually just zoom in here on our ships too. Since Anno is a very specifically a naval-focused game, they do a lot in terms of focusing on the naval fleets here. You can see here's our flagship, but it is, of course, a row sailing type of classical era boat. There, you're able to build pentacounters, you'll be able to build quadriremes and triremes in this game. But you can see we have, of course, archer towers and these little ballista, which will be the main battlements for taking care of other barbarian pirate boats for the most part, but also a variety of other enemies, whether that's naval or land. So I will be setting this down to low, again, just because it is kind of necessary for running OBS and my green screen and all this other stuff while we're, at a high frame rate. And also, I could probably get away with putting on a medium, but I'm going to set it on low just to make sure we don't have any crashes like we did last time. Again, the game is running even better than it was before, but this is where we're at. So here's our trading post. This is where the heart of our island starts. This is where other players can sail up to us. But also, this is where we have all of our resources, our inventory. You see here we have 30 wood, and you have to actually start collecting more resources. So, in terms of looking, this is actually a really, really dang cool starting island. You'll see there's actually a lot of the waterfalls, man. We also have the basalt columns because we're in a Celtic region. Dude, it's so cool. So I'm going to go ahead. You can actually remove your trading post from the start as well. So I'm going to slightly scoot this over. And then you'll notice I could actually start building roads here. I'm going to have a very basic road set up here. And the first thing I want to figure out is my wood supply. So in terms of your population, every single population is going to have some type of construction material required. So we'll start here with our wood cutters. And this is where the supply chains kind of factor in for Anno, where you have to build with timber, but to get timber, you need a sawmill. A sawmill will produce timber every 30 seconds. But in order to produce timber, you need to have wood, and the woodcutter comes from the woodcutter. I'll go ahead and I'll place our very first woodcutter. This will, of course, cut down trees from a nearby radius. And I'm going to go ahead and put that right here where all these trees are. But you'll see here we have this nice little wood cutting shed. Now this needs to be connected to our main island, our main harbor via road. Now this will be then delivering wood to our inventory. Now this, instead of delivering straight to the warehouse, what it can do is it can actually deliver straight to the actual sawmill itself. And then, so the woodcutter will generate wood. This wood is then transported over to the sawmill, and then the sawmill is going to take said wood and turn that into timber. The sawmill will then transport that to our warehouse, which is our shared inventory. And then I'll be able to generate anything that I want right here with the wood that I have. Can you play this game as a Medieval Dynasty? Hang on. Can we play this game as a Medieval Dynasty, like the first person after building or something? Or is this going to be a Clash of Clans type 3D thing? I'm not sure what you mean by... it is a specifically Roman era. So this is going to be height of the classical era. This is AD, like 117 AD. On the Pax Romana, this is like the height of the Roman Empire. There's going to be an Egyptian expansion. Yeah, so the idea of having like a Roman-centered Anno game is that there's going to be plenty of different areas to expand into, especially for DLCs for the game, and that's actually fantastic. The game feels very, very good in its base. I know the DLCs probably are going to be one of those things that you don't need, but if you are a enthusiast of the game, they're very helpful. They're very nice. I played Anno117 without any DLC for a long time, just because the game's very interesting. But the more places you can sail to, like the more there is available, and that's really fun. This the new Anno? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we are starting in Albion. So I'll show you why Albion's very interesting here in a second. I do want to actually start off by having a little bit of my starting roads here. And then I'll start with our first residence. Now, there's a couple of different ways you could play. For the sake of simplicity, I'm going to be playing in a very grid fashion here. Now, these are our residences. This is a waiter. This is the tier 1 Celtic residence. This is where people will be living in each of these buildings. You'll see here there's going to be a population number, and there's going to be a workforce generated from that population. To increase the number of people that live in these houses, you'll have to satisfy their needs, and that will help you generate population, but also gold and a bunch of other statistics as we jump in here. Can't wait to see the Egyptian expansion. The Egyptian expansion is going to be rock, dude. It's going to be awesome. So I'll click over here on our waiter now, and you'll see we have our first couple of resources. So there's actually two different ways to satisfy their first need. Their first need is food. So food, of course, is going to be absolutely important to do, but you can provide them either cockles or eels. The cockles are actually very easy for us to address. So I'm going to go ahead and make this little cockle picker. Now, so this is very similar to a fishing boat, like that you may be familiar with in the Latium or the beginning. So this will generate some cockle every, hang on. Every 45 seconds, it produces 1 ton of cockles, which will then be delivered to the warehouse, which immediately delivers to our residences. So I will be putting this onto a 2x speed because there's actually a lot of the game that I want to get through today. And then we're actually going to start sailing our boat as well. You can see the fog of war here is very, very cool. It's like a good 3D volumetric fog. And we even have our very first neighbor here. So we met Tarragon, who lives real close by. Generally in an Anno game, you're going to have 3 neighbors. There are going to be split between the two different provinces when you live in Albion. But you can see here, Tarragon starts here. We can decide whether or not we're going to be friendly or we're going to mock him. I'm going to, of course, be friendly. But this will be his starting island. So you see he has a couple of houses he started, but he's also got a little bit of a lumber industry over this way. And he's actually starting to expand all the way up to the top of his island already, with another warehouse for inventory and more wood generation. Now, there's going to be a couple of different ways we can interact with them. You can go to their lighthouse and they'll start giving you contracts. It looks like it's going to be 10 minutes before he actually establishes his first contract. So we're gonna hold off for a little bit and keep exploring. Now, I do want to focus primarily on our actual our actual beginning. So once we get the food supply working, you'll see they are now being provided cockles. Their food supply is actually satisfied. You can generate the eels from the eel grabber as well. but you generally only need to actually satisfy one of these to be able to upgrade them. It does give you a benefit. You'll notice our houses here have 1 population and 1 workforce now. That is because the cockles are providing 1 population as well as 1 happiness. So as you'll see up here, we have population, we have happiness. Population will generate your workforce. Gold, of course, is going to help you in terms of maintaining your balance. Here's your denarii, your income. Denarii, of course, being the Roman gold coin. And population prevents riots when people get upset. We did just get discovered Lycia Ma's island, and actually I love watching the reveal. Oh, I think I kind of missed it. But so Lycia Ma has also started over here on this island, but you'll see she's building out some certain buildings out here in the marsh. There's certain buildings that need to be built on land, and there's certain buildings that need to be built on marsh. She actually has a warehouse on marsh already. That's kind of interesting. But you'll notice, so there's gonna be 2 main pathways that we can play into, whether or not we're focusing on like the Roman aesthetic, which tends to build a lot so on the land, or you want to focus on the Celtic expansions, and that actually embraces the marshlands, and you end up building out in the marshes quite a lot. You can also go ahead and copy and paste certain buildings. So you'll see I'll have this like block of houses. All the houses need to be connected to your inventory via road. Now your roads, of course, you can build one at a time. The nice thing they've introduced in Anno117 is the ability to just click and just build roads around all the buildings at the same time. That's also very nice. Yeah, so you'll keep an eye on our wood supply here. When you have wood, you can generate more houses. And actually, it looks like I actually can't build on this coastline here. So I'm, just for the sake of my own sanity, I will be scooting my houses up 1 tile just so that it's a little more symmetrical, because that's going to drive me crazy. And they're going to build something a little bit like this. A little dockland here for this is fine. Now, once we've increased our population, now we can build out our tier 2. Not a tier 2. Our public service category. So you can build either the market, which will be familiar to those that have played in Latium, or you can build the Bardic Hearth immediately. The market's going to provide us population and income, while the Bardic Hearth provides population and happiness. This is, of course, applied to all the residences nearby, basically in a radius, but based off of how far they are from the road. So we're going to start here by building our market, and you'll see here that it's immediately going to generate income on all of the households. You'll see our income is starting to go up finally, and it's going to increase their satisfy their public service category. But we can actually do both. You don't need to do just one, and for the sake of showing this off, I will be also building the Bardic Hearth, which is quite fun as well. This actually is going to fit very nicely right here. And that will, of course, affect all of the buildings nearby. So you'll see here, here's our market where all of our residents will come to trade for goods. Hello? And then here is the Bardic Hearth. Now you'll see these numbers are correlating to what is happening to our population. So we'll be generating 32 income from mostly from our market. We have our 91 population because, of course, these are boosting the population in each of the houses. You'll see here at 2.8 population per household. And then after that, we need to generate our fashion needs. So there's a couple of tutorials here too. You'll see here, workforce. Very nice. As well as we'll have these goods here to show off in a second. All right, so I actually do want to generate a more permanent wood supply here too as well. So I would like to build out a warehouse. Now this is going to be another place for our inventory. All right, I'm going to put this right over here. Now, of course, all of our warehouses, this is a warehouse and this is a warehouse on our trading post. Both of these are spots for our resources to be delivered to then come into our inventory. So now that we have our warehouse, I'll be generating more timber in these in the heavily treed areas. Which will then be delivered to a sawmill. So that, again, timber delivered to the sawmill, which delivers to the warehouse. And I just want to have as many of these as possible so that I can generate a lot of wood very early on. Because everything I'm going to need to build early is going to require wood. And I'll be able to put these into other places here later on. Now, I'll be able to talk to some of our neighbors here as well. And I like going over to one of them immediately and actually taking out a loan. There's a lot of ways to interact with them diplomatically. One of them that I've been enjoying early on is taking on some of these early loans. You get immediate gold now for a pretty crazy high interest rate. However, it is I'll be able to use the money to help us expand quickly so that I can start generating income. There's also a bunch of narrative events happening, so the waiter kneels in the dirt. Passing waiter sees your toga bright with the colors of Roman nobility and throws himself at your feet. Alas, his well-meaning gesture causes mud from a nearby puddle to splash over your hems. You sigh. Speaking no Latin, he gestures frantically to the wares strapped to his ponies, fresh woven reed shoes and tunics. They're yours for the taking if you wish. Do accept his offering to apologize. So we can actually get some immediate reed shoes here, which will help kickstart our game. We could also get tunics if we want to play more into the tunics this game. Or we can show forgiveness. And this has no cost nor negative consequence. But it is the roleplay decision. It is okay. So I played this in a previous playthrough where I said show forgiveness. I forget if that actually gave us a bonus later on. But just to give us a little bit of a kickstart, I actually do want to grab some reed shoes here. I'll take his apology. We'll get some reed shoes, and that's going to be delivered to our inventory, which of course is then going to immediately start being delivered to all of our waiters here, which is actually a very, very nice kickstart. So here's another little bit of a tutorial. There's a fantastic amount of tutorials that pop up throughout the game to help you show you what you should be doing. Now, I could actually upgrade my buildings right now, but to just fully showcase why those reed shoes were actually very nice for us. I'm going to show the production pipeline for it as well. So you'll need reeds to generate your to generate reeds. The reeds will be processed into shoes, reed shoes, by the shoe weaver. Now, this is one of the first buildings that requires not to be built on land, but to be built on the marshlands. This is actually a very, very interesting thing about the Albion start is the duality between land and marsh, and how much you want to prioritize actually settling into the marsh with the Celtic needs, or if you're going to be focusing on the land buildings like the tunics here, which of course if you played in Latium, you're familiar that the Roman start also generates tunics. For now, we'll just be generating here are some reed shoes. We also have a little beach here. Interesting. We have another coastline over here, but there's basically 3 different coasts on this tiny island. So I do want to have... Eventually, I'll have like a road all the way across this marshland, probably, to go to a small little section over here. So I'm going to generate that road now. I like kind of mapping out the roads early on, where you can also make use of some of these diagonal roads. That is new to Anno117, and we'll be able to build blocks both in a grid fashion this way, but also in a rotated fashion this way. There's also going to be, of course, access to up here. You can see there's actually a mountain slot up here. There's going to be certainly a bunch of buildings to build up this way eventually, but we'll be leaving that for later. For now, I do actually just want to map it out just a little bit. So we'll be able to build all the way up that way. That's actually really cool.
May I remind you of a certain topic?
So some buildings can only be built in the marsh. A few buildings like the warehouse can be built on solid ground or in the marsh. Oh, okay. So I don't know if they've changed that. You had to unlock that before to be able to build warehouses in marshland. That must be changed. The wooden roads can be connected to marsh buildings at specific points. The orientation of the building is important. So I'll show you here now where we'll have our very first little bit of a marsh building. Oh, hello. So you'll see, here's our reed gatherer. Now this is basically a farm, but it can only be built on the marshland. So you'll see here you can expand the farm area like this, like so. But then you can also go ahead and build a farm exactly how you want to see it. And this is, of course, one of the parts where I really enjoy the city building aspect of the game. Now, this, of course, needs somewhere to deliver its reeds. You can see it only delivers so far on a road. So it can't deliver all the way to the warehouse over here. So in the meantime, I'm going to have a warehouse. Now, actually, yeah, no, this is actually really interesting. It didn't used to let you do this immediately from the game. So I'm going to build a warehouse right here. Just because I really like the idea of kind of leaning into this immediate marsh warehouse. I was going to put it over here, but this is great too. There's going to be a bunch of buildings we're going to build out this way. But when the reeds are delivered to the warehouse, then you'll be able to build this shoe weaver. Now, this is a production building. It provides these shoes to the houses, but it also has an area of effect, like the market does. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right on here. You'll see here, here's the building. And here's actually something very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and cut. They've actually added the ability for you to walk through your towns now, too. So you'll see here, of course, remember we are on low graphics here, but you can see here's our shoe weaver. As well as the market and our Bardic Tavern. We can actually run through our town as we're building it. Of course, these are all buildings that are designed to be seen from far away, but even so, I'm going to actually very quickly see if I can get away with turning the graphics up just to showcase what it looks like then. You might see a little bit of a frame rate drop for my camera and stuff like that, but we'll see. You do like the marsh mechanics and the choice between embracing Celtic culture and utilizing the marsh or Romanizing and draining the marsh? Yeah. So, oh yeah. So again, my camera is kind of going to be a little bit choppy here, but that's okay. Again, the game is running great when I'm not also running my OBS. All right, cool. My frame rate has absolutely died. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can turn off my camera, if that helps. Hang on one second, guys. I think it's less important to see me. I might just straight up just turn off my camera because I have like a green screen and the HDR effect on it, and all right, cool. So I've disabled that background process entirely. Hopefully that helps. I'll also close out my Discord. I'm just gonna free up a little bit of space on my PC. I should have set that to medium, not to high. Again, we're playing in 4K, and that's kind of why my game is like really rough right now. Go back to options. This mode didn't provide, this review mode didn't provide resolutions in addition to 4K. I would have rather played in 1440p with high graphics. Unfortunately, it didn't let us do that. At least we tried this now instead of later when my city would have been big and it definitely would have crashed everything. All right. Oh, there we are. All right. So you see we're here on medium settings. Control Shift R. And we have our Bardic Hearth. We can also run all the way down to our harbor, see what our boats are doing. Little donkeys. Got little dogs walking around. All right. Yeah, we're just gonna run the game like this. This is gonna actually be a lot more representative of how the game is running when I'm not running my green screen and stuff. Textures and modeling do look significantly more detailed than Anno117, especially close up. Not sure if your PC will even run this. I think, let me see. Anno117 spec requirements. Yeah, okay, they do have it released. So Anno117, just to be clear, because we're kind of trying to highlight this right now. Minimum requirements for playing at 1080p at 30 FPS, visual low settings. It's going to require Intel i7. Let's see, GeForce 1660, 16 gigs of RAM. Recommended to play on 1080p 30 FPS with an you can play with an i5 actually. It looks like i5 9600K. If you want to play at 60 FPS, it recommends you put it on medium graphics. If you only have 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 20 card or a 30 card. As at enthusiasts, though, of course, you can play at 4K, very high graphics, 30 FPS, but that's going to require an i7 1300, a RTX 4080, 32 gigabytes of RAM. But for the sake of this game, and this is why I wanted to play at 1080p, because I wanted to play the recommended settings here. But we are playing at 4K. Right, instead of 1440p, and we're playing at medium settings. I do have a what's my PC specs? Let me pull up about my PC. I am playing on a i9 10000 with 32 gigabytes of RAM and a 3080 card for reference. But yeah, I had way too many things just running here in the background, but. All right, so here we are. So we can now see that we are generating our shoes right here. I'm actually gonna go ahead and even put a warehouse right next to the shoe weaver. Now, each of these warehouses do cost gold to maintain as well as workforce, but having them the quick delivery of shoes is going to be useful for us. I can even go ahead and grab some more workers, build out some more roads, and kind of just have a really fast start to a nice population of 113 and rising. While we're out here, I'm also going to generate some eels, just because I do like satisfying as many of the conditions as possible. So that we'll be able to generate lots of food here. I can even generate a little bit of tunics while we wait for our population to grow. So there is a planning mode as well, so you can plan your cities before you actually start building it. And then have a place for, say, your hemp. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put a little road around a sawmill here. Oh, our city status has increased. And what I like to do is, when I'm building my farms, is generating a little bit of a, a little bit of beauty building as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put I think I'm gonna put it over here, and we're gonna have a little farmhouse nearby. Now we can even set it back just a touch, and then generate our hemp farm like this. That kind of surrounds the city just a little bit, or the house a little bit. And then if you ever have a point where you want to generate a little bit more farm here, you can see we generated 80 hemp field plots. You can actually hold down shift, and you can overbuild your farms just if you want to, kind of satisfy your OCD a little bit. And very quickly, there are some decorations for us to play around with. So there's like some things like trees here we can place in to kind of a cute little farmhouse. The farmers live here, then they have a lot of their hemp is gathered over here, which then is delivered down to the warehouse. So then I'll generate create our spinner as well. So we'll be generating both the pretty much everything we need. We're gonna have reeds, we're gonna have tunics, we're gonna have eels, cockles, and our waiters should be very happy. You can see here we can actually pull up our production menu. You'll see how much is your supply in the green bar and your demand in the white bar here. So we're supplying more than our population is demanding, so our inventories should all be going up. I'm going to send my boat to keep on sailing so I can go ahead and meet more people. And I think we should be at the point where we can actually start upgrading our residents. You'll see here, once you fill the all need categories of a residence. Now, again, that doesn't mean fulfilling all of the individual, but as long as you fill one of each of the 3 categories, you can then upgrade a waiter. And this is actually the first part that I think is really interesting for the replayability factor, is that you have 2 pathways to choose. You have the Romantic Celts that are focused on economy and research. Now this is going to be a lot more like when you're playing on the Latium start. You have a lot more overlap in terms of goods, as well as architecture, and they do actually boost knowledge. Or you could pick the Celtics, which venerate local gods and nature. Your smiths and aldermen live in smaller communities, but you have different resources with different production lines, which do focus more on the marshlands specifically, and it actually boosts your belief. Now, because we played Latium last time, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna choose the Celtics here. I can even mass upgrade a bunch of buildings here to generate a bunch of new residences. There we are. Which generates a new production pathways for us. So these smiths will have the same needs as your waiters do, but they'll have a couple of additional needs. As your workforce becomes more specialized, they can do more and more jobs. However, they do require more goods. You'll see we even have a quest here. Ayo, Gov, can you spare some iron for a festival we're planning? I'm going to say yes. So they want a little bit of iron delivered for them. Now,
Spare us a bit of iron so we something to work
So I'm gonna have to generate iron in order to do that. Now you'll notice over here in the there's actually a settlement available. Our boat can actually settle this new island. It is 16,000 gold though, and that's very expensive. But you'll notice here, when you start an Albion, when you have 3 governors you're playing against, 2 of them will spawn in Albion with you, but 1 will actually spawn back in Latium. In the meantime, I'm going to let my boat sail somewhere else. The reason why I don't want to settle on this island is it's going to have some of the same fertilities as my starting island does. Where the ones I'm going to need later are going to be very different. Now, to satisfy the needs for our smiths, I need things like cheese or beer for their food. These buildings will require a new construction material, though. This is the wattle and the wattle and dub. So instead of just building with wood and timber, or with tiles, like you're familiar in Latium, the Celtics have a specific production resource that requires reeds and mud, which you can only be built in Albion. Now, that's why I like having this area over here, because you'll notice the mud dryer is a building that requires marshlands. Let me see exactly what we got going on by using the planning mode here, but we'll be able to have the mud dryer pit be placed over here, right next to our warehouse, right in the middle of the marshland. So it's going to, and then our laborer's yard, this is where it's going to combine both reeds and the mud into the wattle and dub. Now, you'll see we have different production times for each of these resources. The reed gatherer takes 1 minute to produce 1 ton of reed, and the laborer's yard produces a wattle and dub in 1 minute as well, but the mud takes 1 minute and 30 seconds. What that means for now, because I know these reeds are going to be delivered for our reed shoes, I'm going to generate another reed gatherer, and then I'll be able to place this over here. Actually, I need a lot more planted here, so that means that we're going to have a dedicated regenerator and mud for this guy. The laborer's yard. Now, the laborer's yard I'm going to place right here. And this, of course, will be generated in the marshland as well. But you'll see we'll be taking our reeds, we'll be taking our mud. They can both deliver over here to the laborer's yard, which can then be delivered back to the warehouse. Because they have different production times, and I'm going to need a lot of wattle and dub, I'll actually generate a couple of these. Now, you'll notice we can generate a ton of reed in 1 minute, and we can generate a ton of reed in 1.5 minutes. However, that does mean if we have, mud in 1.5 minutes. That does mean we'll need 1 reed gatherer for every laborer's yard, but let me think about this. Okay. So if you want to try to maximize the amount of production for your wattle and dub, say like how many of the labor yards do you need to sync up with reed gatherers and for mud dryers? Well, if you have 2 mud dryers, you'll be generating 2 mud every 3 minutes, and then your reed gatherers to generate 5 seconds. Think of it. Can I make it look pretty? Yeah, for sure. We can try. We can try a little bit of moving things around to make them look a little bit extra pretty. Okay, so what we could do is we could generate, so because it generates every 90 seconds, theoretically, if you have 2 of them, you'll generate every 1 ton every 45 seconds. And if you had 3 of them, you generate 1 ton every 30 seconds. So it takes actually And then for reed gatherers, if you have 2 reed gatherers, you can generate every 30 seconds. So it takes 2 reed gatherers and 3 mud dryers and 2 laborers' yards to kind of sync all of the production queues up online. Yeah, the marsh is really, really cool. I'm really enjoying it. Let me think about this. Sorry, my brain's not quite working yet, guys. All right, so we have an idea. I have an idea here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually scoot some of these buildings around. So I'm going to have my labor yard over here on this end of the warehouse, and I'm going to move my mud dryer. And what I'm going to do is I want to prioritize building as many of these as possible because I'm going to be needing a lot of resources here. So I'm going to make my reed gatherer expand all the way out this way. And then even if we wanted, I wonder if you could build... You can't build homes in the marshland. This is specifically just a worker area. But I'll be able to have my reeds here. And then we'll even go ahead and make this actually a little bit symmetrical as well. You'll notice here on the farms... Oh, hang on. There we go. So what I'm doing here is we're going to have 2 reed farmers, which then deliver to the mud bricks, which then... Or sorry. Gosh, words today. So the reeds will be delivered to our labor yards, and the mud is also delivered to labor yards, and then labor yards can deliver straight to the warehouse, the wattle and dub. But this is going to be our maximum efficiency line, where we have mud being generated every 30 seconds, and we have reeds being generated every 30 seconds, and the wattle and dub being generated every 30 seconds. So both these buildings would deliver here, both these buildings would deliver here, and then both of these labor yards deliver to the warehouse. So we have a very strong production of wattle and dub now. I'll keep my scout exploring. Oh, let's go. We found an island, and we get to see, yes, the reveal. The reveal. So you'll find islands around that some of them have very, very little land. Very little land. And then they have a very big marsh. So this is one of the islands where you're like, all right, I definitely want to lean into the Celtics if I settle this island. You'll see, though, we do have different island fertility. So we have dye plants, we have saltworth, we have beaver population, copper, and tin. Tin is something we will need in order to advance to the tier 3 population. But of course, it is a very small island, so it might be something that we focus on later. While this island might be a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, much bigger. Oh dude, look at this look at this lake, dude, with a waterfall. Oh, down the copper walls. Oh yeah, so you got marshland, you got land. You got, oh, dude, they actually really outdid themselves too with like the ability to like build up the mountains, which is super cool. This does have resin, and it does not have tin though. I know tin is something I'm gonna have to look for. So I'm gonna explore some more islands that are nearby. All right, so now that we're here, I'm gonna generate our first food resource for our smiths. Now, of course, we actually generated a lot of workforce for the smiths because the smiths are the ones that are working in the brickyards. So I'm going to need a lot more of those. A lot more of them. Now, here's where we have an interesting little place to try to figure out kind of an alternate pathway for our blocks, because of course we have more of a diagonal road up this way. And I'll have to figure out exactly what we want to do with this.
I await your
Ooh, Law of Majesty. A manacled woman is escorted into your presence. She is guilty of violating the Law of Majesty, claiming to be the goddess and gathering followers. The Empire is very touchy about such claims, but the woman insists that she and her people pose no threat. So we get to decide the woman's fate. We are leaning more into a Celtic faith build right now, so we can decide to pardon her. However, that's going to be a negative relationship with our Emperor. We could instead pay her to renounce her divinity. That, of course, is going to cost 10,000 denarii. I don't know if I want to do that. We can execute her, which will make our Emperor happy, but it's going to make our people less happy. Or we can exile her, and this decision has no effect. What do we do here? What do we do? Management of a huge city on the mountain. Yeah, that is absolutely our goal here. So we can decide, do we want to try to focus on keeping the Emperor happy and aligning with Rome's goals, or do we want to keep our own people happy and focus more on our own people? But I'm thinking, because we're playing as the Celts, and when I played in as the Romans in Latium, I kind of focused on keeping the Emperor happy. So this is going to be the play style where we're going to focus on being a lot more Celtic and say, screw the Emperor, he's far away. How about that? Our boat is still sailing. You can also shift click, so he keeps sailing.
Accept contracts? I would very much like to talk business.
Okay, and we can also open up the diplomacy screen here on the left side. She wants us to talk to her. We can actually take a loan from her as well. You can see we're only at 10,000 denarii. You can offer gifts. She won't accept these things down here. You need to improve your relationship with someone before you can get things like non-aggression pacts or trade treaties. Right now, I'm going to actually take a little loan from her as well, because I just want a little more income or money now. Of course, that hurts our income, but it actually increases our relationship with her because we are interacting with her. So I'm going to upgrade a couple more of these smiths, and you'll see here we've actually started unlocking more buildings. So again, we're going to look into some of our foods here. We do have ox farms and cheese dairy kitchens, or we can generate all the way up to breweries. Now, the brewery takes barley. I think most starting islands will have barley, but you can have, instead of having the Roman beer, we have, or the Roman bread, right, that takes wheat and malt, and then a bakery. The Celts focus on beer instead. So they have barley into malt house into breweries. Dude, I love that. Dude, I could go for something here. So let's generate a little bit of a farmhouse. We can decide where we want to put that as well. And actually, I might want to move some of my woodcutters out to a different area. We actually have plenty of wood here. I can actually set my islands to auto-sell resources. So we're going to go to our goods here. And instead of making these set to sell individually, one item at a time, I can just go to all goods and sell all goods once they're above 50 inventory. That way, our neighbors can come over here and buy goods from us from our inventory, which will help us make a little bit of money as well. Hello? There we are. All right, because I like this coastline here, I kind of want to turn this into a little bit of a farm area. I'm going to move this woodcutter. And I kind of like the peninsula over here for being a little bit of a more long-term wood supply. So I'm going to build a road out this way. We can even rotate our warehouse here so that we have a little bit of room to move. Of course, if you're playing on the higher difficulties, it will cost money to move buildings around like this. And actually, I do want to move this down a bit. because I'm going to need to have a sawmill down here as well. Like that. So we'll have a little bit of wood supply up there too. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and generate our breweries. So because we have a little bit of farms here, I'm going to generate some farms up this way as well. Let's see. We got... Oops.
Oh, it's fine garb, this tunic. Let's not get mud on me now. A winkle among your cockles is a gift from the sea.
There we go. Fix that little issue that I had. All right, so what we're going to do... because I can also generate a little bit of a diagonal road out this way to kind of have a little bit going on over here. I'm going to plan out a little bit of a block this way as well. And then, yeah, diagonally from the corner here. So we can have other things here. Let's see. Let's generate a little bit of a farmhouse. So I'm going to have a warehouse at the end. And then I need to have my brewery. I'll have a malt house nearby the warehouse. And then I'll have my farms over here. Again, we're going to put a little bit of a farmhouse next to the malt house. And you see, because we're building on diagonal, the grid gets a little bit odd here, but you get used to it. Let's go ahead and build the barley. Now, it takes 1 minute to produce barley, 30 seconds to produce malt, and 1 minute to produce a beer. So you're going to need 2 barley farms, 1 malt house, and 2 breweries to keep this production chain going quickly. So let's go ahead and generate a barley farm. I can even go ahead and put a little bit of a house nearby it. And we'll just make this entire area covered in barley. Need a little bit more. Like so. And we'll generate our warehouse as well. So, like I said, we're going to want 2 barley farms here. We'll do the exact same thing again. And you'll see even your farms will even start to they don't need to be in squares. They'll form to what actually fits pretty well here on the grid.
Time, religious belief in your city was shaped to your advantage.
So these barley will then deliver to the malt house. The malt house will then deliver to the warehouse, and then the brewery we could have over here next to the malt house, or we can decide to put it over here in the center of our island. Because it will generate a lot of income, because these also have an area effect, just like these other buildings did too. However, it's going to cause a lot of fire damage or negative fire safety. So that's going to have something we're going to have to worry about our fires here later on. However, that will be able to pick up the malt from the warehouse, because the malt being delivered to this warehouse can then be picked up from this warehouse. And there we are. Now, we do need to have charcoal in order to fire the brewers. So I'm going to need a place for charcoal to burn as well. Now, let's see if I can actually generate enough up this way. No, it doesn't look like I can. Actually, I do have a little bit of charcoal that can be built here. Yeah, 100% here. 95 out of 45. Yeah, we'll put the charcoal burner here. We just gotta be careful because there is a, it also causes negative health and negative fire safety to nearby buildings. So we don't want near a big population center, of course. While we're here, we're also going to build out either the recreation ground or the faunum. Now, the faunum actually requires to be built by tiles. So the faunum can only be built when you have... Oh, wait, we can just build tiles now, can we? Oh, interesting. Okay. Because we have the wattle and dub built, we could actually build a recreation ground immediately. Now, this is, of course, another area of effect building, but this increases happiness, health, and prestige. The prestige, this is how you actually get early prestige over in Albion. And I think what we could do is we could actually put it right over here. And that's going to affect a big area of buildings. Specifically, a lot of my Celts, or my smiths, who are going to need the additional public service. You can see here, this is our recreation ground, where all these Celts are getting all their aggression out, right? And we can even go ahead and jump on in with them. So we got some archery. We got some, oh, wow. Hang on. They're eating some pork. Wow, that's actually whole hogs. But even you can see we have, wow. All right. Really cool.
My granddad fought the Romans.
So we can actually, because we're focusing on faith with the Celts, we do want to choose a patron god. Now, there's a few different patron gods you can pick from. When you spawn in Latium, you get to pick from either Ceres, that boost your farms, Neptune, that boosts your fishing and your sea resources, as well as your boats, or Mars, who produces helps you build a stronger and more efficient military. There are other gods you can unlock through the technology tree. Usually these are unlocked when you're playing later on. Like if you spawn in Latium, you can research these gods, and these are the more Celtic gods. There are ways to be able to unlock the Celtic gods from the beginning in the Hall of Fame. I think that means just playing in Albion overall. We're going to pick Neptune here because it will increase our cockle production, as well as our boats that we're going to get into here in a little bit. And then you also have a global tree, because each island gets to devote to their own god. So you can have different islands that have different specialities and focuses. But for now, we're gonna pick Neptune. I understand the game. Most people streaming it don't. I got to play it a few different times by now, because there's been a ongoing process of previews and I got early access like 9 months ago. Now, I haven't been able to play the game for 9 months, and there's been a bunch of updates that have happened. So there's definitely plenty of times that I get confused as well. So don't get me wrong. Like even the fact that you can build the warehouse on Marsh is actually new to me. Usually you had to unlock that later on, but I do enjoy. I'm enjoying what I do know. I'm enjoying what I'm finding so far. But welcome in, Aqua. So you can see actually our demand is starting to exceed some of our supplies. So you can see our demand for eels is higher than supply. Our demand for tunics is higher than our supply. So we might actually want to go back and rebuild a couple of these buildings. What I've been trying to do instead of just like building out like one big city is actually kind of spreading out to different areas. So there's actually a little bit of an island that we could build out this way. And I actually really like the idea of having a nice like smaller little area with its own warehouse, so that it can have its own, cockle fishery, right? So we can generate some more cockle over here. We can even bring in some more eels, because that was one of the resources that we saw was kind of low. I'm going to go ahead and put that actually pretty much anywhere, but right there for now will be fine. But this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have another market over here. Now we don't need to build everything over here. Like we don't need to have a Bardic Hearth as well. But we could if we wanted to. But I'll have just basically my own little additional area, and so that we can have different areas that are specialized with different types of resources. So that'll help generate a little bit more here. But of course, like I said, we were gonna want more tunics, right? So and that can have its own little farm out this way. You'll notice there's a couple of mountain slots here. You'll find these find a lot of these later on in the game. So start recognizing what they look like. I need to actually unlock like iron or something so I can actually look at them specifically. But for now, let's just go ahead and generate a little more hemp up here. So yeah, you'll have a little community over here. We're going to have a bigger community over here. And this is actually going to be very important once we start going into having a actual Celtic area as well as a more Roman population. Because when you pick pathways, you can actually come back to the other pathway and build it later. You get eels from marshes? Yes, you do. So this is because we're playing with the Celtics here, the Albion starting location. You'll see you have all these different marshlands. Like you get reeds in the marsh, you get eels in the marsh, you get mud generated in the marsh. Mud is actually very, very important for them. You haven't played it yet, but it looks fairly similar to previous Anno games in terms of basic gameplay loop with some new mechanics like religion. Yes, I would say it feels very. If you are a person that likes Anno, the settling islands, the expanding, the managing of resources, the constant exploring, and then a little bit of strategic logistics and gameplay loops, you're going to enjoy this game. If you have played a significant amount of time in any Anno game, this feels like Anno, and it feels like basically just a completely different DLC or skin or flavor to the game that I really appreciate. What does mud do? Mud is a resource that is necessary for producing certain construction materials. So mud is used for generating like the laborer's yard, which is the tier 2 Celtic construction resource. It is also used for generating tiles. Oh, you know what I realized? I could be using the mud dryers instead of running 2 laborers' yards. What we could be doing instead is having the mud dryers running a tiler instead. Let's see. So what is the? I think this is actually different than I expected. And also, the land is very limited. There's so much marshland up here. So your decision of whether or not you're going to try to build tiles. And try to build everything is actually really, really important in Albion. Uh-oh. Pirates. You're coming from Frostpunk. I have not played Frostpunk, but I know it is a very... oh, looks like our game's currently crashing. That's a GPU error. Hang on, guys. All right, so that's a full crash. Again, was running probably a little bit too heavy on my OBS specifically. Is the game released? The game releases this Thursday. So we have a couple days early access to reveal the game for you. My general thoughts right now, though, is the game looks amazing. It feels very, very good. It is the exact Anno gameplay loop. If you're not familiar with the Anno gameplay loop, that means starting on an island, settling up, doing a little bit of city building, a little bit of exploring, a little bit of resource management, and a little bit of warfare, all tied into one game. The doggo, yeah, they that's our that's Scout. GPU crash? Yeah, my GPU crashed. And to be clear, my OBS, like the green screen, uses my GPU, so that's probably why it crashed. You pre-ordered it on PS5. Interesting. I have not played Anno on console. Let me know what you think about it, because oh, that is 1800. Whoops. How did I launch 1800? That's hilarious. Hang on. You always said that Anno was a combo of resource, logistics management, city building, 4X, and some light RTS elements. Yeah, and they're leaning a little bit heavier into RTS now with 117, which is nice. Hey, maybe we do play some Anno 1800 this week. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Our ideas for this week include Anno117, kind of breaking this up in a couple different days so I can showcase as much of the game as possible. But also, we are going to be doing some Civ here later on, specifically with a Civ Give announcement here. 30 days until Civ Give is technically Friday, so that's going to be my official launch for Civ Give 2025. There is a multiplayer as well. I have not been able to test multiplayer. I'm currently talking to other content creators to see if we can test multiplayer. I actually just saw, I know Van Bradley is currently playing. I also saw Sassy Gamer Lady currently is also playing 117, which is actually really cool to see. And yeah, so I hopefully I can organize something with them here later in the week or next week. So far looks great. You did the demo to make sure that the game would load. Can't wait to play the game. Nice, dude. Yeah, the lane combat, especially when you start in Albion, it happens sooner than you realize. At one point during one of my test games, I was just playing and trying to run with the pirate queen. She asked for a ransom, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not giving you a ransom. My ships are fine. And then she attacked my city directly with troops, and I was like, oh, okay, okay. So if you're familiar with games like Total War, it is not going, like, warfare is not going to be as intense as like a war-focused game, but there are elements of units and morale and range or melee attack and hit points and all those type of things that are in this game. And as well as like different type of formation types, like whether or not they're going to be more aggressive or more defensive and try to hold the line, or kind of just, you know, attack as aggressively as possible, or chase. There are options like that. Played Anno117 with your friends, and it's fantastic. Can't imagine the feature being left out. Yeah, so it's so there are two different types of multiplayer as far as I'm aware. You can either play in a single game where you all control your own island, or you can play on the same island and manage resources together. I have not played a game like that in an Anno before, but I know it is a feature of other Anno games. So you'll see here our knowledge is actually negative. That's because we're focusing on the Celts and religion first, which actually debuffs your knowledge for a little bit. But where you can see we have 360 population. We're actually positive on the balance sheet, even with our loan with Lycium Ma still in effect. So once our loan is over, we're actually making a lot of gold per turn. Anno 1800 multiplayer? I know, right? Yeah, Anno 1800 is multiplayer. It was very fun. It was actually one of the first games that I got to play with some of my friends that were not necessarily gamers, but they liked how pretty the game was. So like, we were not good. We were not playing optimally. Like, we were just playing to make pretty cities, and I actually really enjoy that. You can play the game like that. Do you lose tech? No. So we haven't even unlocked the technology tree. Right now we have the religion tree, which is basically just choosing between different deities, and the more belief you have, the more bonuses you unlock. Like right now we have a 20% bonus to our cockles, And then you'll see we'll get other bonuses like you can unlock shrines. But you'll see here, once we get to 250 faith, the upkeep cost of buildings goes down, and your hit points of your harbor goes up, which is really, really nice. Of course, your harbor does have a very basic defense. It has a single little, I wouldn't call that little catapult here. It's not a trebuchet, but so it can defend from some very basic pirate attacks. I don't know if you call them pirates or barbarians in 117, but I'm actually going to go down to the south. Oh, we actually lost some progress. We know the pirates are up here now, but we haven't actually met her, but that's okay. I think I'll send my boat up there just so I can try to meet them, and then we'll keep sailing around, so I know where we can settle later. So you'll see we've actually started to unlock additional buildings as well. So we have harbor buildings that are going to be unlocked. Oh, soon, not yet. We do have access to iron production as well as a barracks. So we can produce those military units like we were talking about. Actually, I do have a quest right now to produce some iron ore. So I do want to look into generating actual iron. So you'll see these can be put on our mountain slots. And you can put these in a variety of places throughout our island. Of course, iron mines do have a negative effect to your island health, so you want to be careful about where you are putting them. I'm going to have a bunch of stuff up here at some point. This is probably where I'm going to build out my Roman population, is up on top of the hill here, which is really, really cool. For now, I'm just going to drop this mine right here because it's going to be a basic iron mine. That does require tiles, so I will need to be producing a tile production in order to get some basic iron built. To do that, let's look at the tiles. So we have a mud brick and the tiler. Now like I said, we have a small little population over here. These could be the people that are building out our tiles. Of course, I want to be careful about the fire safety hazard. Maybe actually I just put it over here for now, to be honest. Oh. Dude, I'm not even building a wonder right now. That's so mean. That's hilarious, though. All right, so I'll put we'll have kind of like a central production area over here, right, where we can have the tile, a separate production line for tiles. So we can have our mud brick, some more mud production over here. I guess I might as well rotate this so that it connects to the road. And then, oh, there she is.
Turn back, Roman. Not welcome here.
She says, I'm not welcome here. So this is Voda. They've warned that you not to go north, but here you are, you pesky little Roman.
I am Voada, chief of the Skaha, and around here.
So she's pretty sick. I can agree to keep my distance or remind her that Rome rules here. I'm going to tell her that because I don't feel like being bossed around by her. Of course, we have this really cool island, but you can see she has some military troops. We have a ship here. One of her ships. We'll see if she attacks us immediately. We can see it's a small little boat. It's smaller than my flagship. I do want to be careful because it is a raider ship. I mean, she is nasty. She's mean. Oh, she's fleeing. Ha! Get out of here. All right, I'm going to sail the other way, and I'm going to keep on exploring for the other NPCs. But you can see this is her little island. It is full of troops. You can see here's the Hall of Chiefs. She has catapults. She has these axe bearers. It's a whole fortress, Moat and Bailey style, actually. That's really cool. As well as other little Celtic forts. As well as her harbor. Can I actually walk around here? Oh my god, I can walk here. Dude, that's so sick. Hello. Like, yeah, the Celtic hill fort. Hill fort's the correct terminology. This is so cool, dude. Let me just run up here. Bro. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, oh my god. That's sick, dude. Yeah, so Celtic peoples, sick. You got some more islands over here to discover. Tiny little island. Looks like there's actually no marsh on this island. Interesting. Interesting. But it has some mountain slots. Interesting. I'm still looking for a place for tin. Oh, it looks like this little island does have tin, so I might end up settling there. Appalachian Man, yeah, top-notch gameplay. Dude, I think the game... personally, I think the game's awesome. Personally, I think the game's awesome. So we're going to have mud that's going to be delivered to our tilerer. And I want to place this so it minimizes how much fire damage is possible nearby.
Hard day's work. Hard day's
So that way the mud is then delivered to the tiler maker. The tiler maker will make bricks, and it needs charcoal to burn. Now, we do have one charcoal burner. Who else? I'm generating a surplus of charcoal though, so I'm sure that one charcoal kiln will be enough to supply this tilery. But we'll slowly generate tiles from now on. Captured immediately and ransomed. Dude! Bro, the fall foliage though? Bro, that's sick. You know what rips, bro? Oh, man. That's lovely, dude. That's lovely. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that we're actually playing on the medium settings now, too. So we have to keep an eye out. Our fire safety is actually very, very bad. You'll notice there's actually a little difference in terms of the city watch buildings as well. If you start in Latium, you actually start with the fire watch, and then you have to go all the way over to Albion to even discover the hospitals. It's the reverse here, where the diseases are more common in Albion and the fires are less common because, like, dude, look at all the rain. And it's actually a very thing to notice is that you are going to need to unlock the fire safety buildings later on. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and build our city watch. Oh, I need tiles. Yeah, we're gonna need a lot of tiles in order to do everything we need here. Let me see, how many... So 3 mud dryers could sync up with 2 tilerers. Interesting. What's my inventory looking like? What I could do also, though, is just pause one of these labor yards so that the mud bricks go over here to my tilerers, because right now I have plenty of these other buildings. So we'll pause this laborer's yard. So I'll generate more of my mud will go over here to the tilerers.
Our scouts have sighted new land.
So this is the early game, of course, so there's a lot of exploring to do, a lot of figuring out which islands have the resources that you want, which islands you might want to settle, which are going to have the safer trade routes too, because you can set up trade routes between your islands. Dude, this island's sick. It has resin and has tin. Oh, huge. This island might be really good. So I might want to settle here, but the only thing is it's very far from my my home island. And you'll see why I want resin and tin here in a little bit. All right, once you unlock enough of your smiths, you actually start unlocking more of their needs. So we have things like fashion here. You could build the trousers, which require dyes. However, we don't have dye fertility on this island.
Our fleet of ships for goods transportation and patrol of
This island does not have dyes either, but I'm going to keep on exploring. It is 1,600 gold to settle here, so yeah, we need a lot more gold, though. Want the trader drop? It's a skin, right? I believe in terms of skins, let me see what you guys get today. Yeah, keep the stream open, even if you guys got to go, because you'll want to get access to some of the Twitch drops today. If you're watching over on Twitch. I think they had told us. Yeah. There's a specific ship skin and there's a trading post skin. So keep an eye out for those. So instead of building trousers on our home island, what we can do instead is we can build the wire twisters. This will require copper, which we do have fertility for. So you'll notice some of your islands are going to have the right fertilities for some pathways. Otherwise, you might have islands, like if you spawned on not an island and you settled over here first, if you play on the higher difficulties, you don't start with a trading post. You can actually pick which island you want to settle on first. So for instance, if you started an island out here, you couldn't build barley for beer, but you could generate, let's see, herbs. Over here, you could generate barley, right, in resin. But you wouldn't have things like dyes, like over here. Like, we have to decide how many islands you want to try to incorporate as well. Your progress isn't going up. I'll have to see. Hang on a second.
Our scouts have sighted new land.
All right. So if you're watching over on Twitch, you should be able to go ahead, click on your profile, and look at your drop rewards progress. Right here, you'll see where your progress is. Looks like mine is going up, even though I didn't have my own window open. But I am connected to my own account, of course. It might be taking a little bit just to go up. All right, so there's more islands. There's got dyes, resin, and tin. Wow, this island might be everything. This island might have everything we need. Oh, yeah, that's very nice. But we're going to keep on exploring. I want to find where the NPCs are, too. Anyways, let's go ahead and generate some copper. So we're going to have some more mines nearby. Let me see. Maybe we put it over here on this mine. Because we can then go ahead and process the... Hang on. Oh, man. Oh, I can't build a road here because of my where my farm is. That's okay.
Procurator. You must be the newest governor. Mars knows we need help.
All right, sounds like we met an NPC too. Let me build out this road here. So this is like this is the White Cliff. Of course, reminiscent of Cliffs of Dover. This is the Roman fort. This is going to be the stronghold of the Emperor. And you can even go ahead and actually interact with them. So we can actually buy tiles directly from them instead of generating our own. So actually, I do want to do that. And I'm also going to buy some wood while we're here as well.
Mercury's blessings.
It is now fantastic. Ooh, Licia Ma actually really likes us. She's giving us a generous gift of 10,000 denarii. Yeah, okay. So, positive relationship with Licia. That has been actually very fantastic. I think that's because we interacted with her for some loans. It actually increased our relationship, and then now she actually just really likes us. That's amazing. We do have access to shipyards now as well, so I'll actually be able to plan out a little specific shipyard area. I'll probably having the shipyard here next to our main harbor, of course. And then we also need to have places for generating sails as well as our rope. So I think we have more wood than we really need right now. So I'm going to remove this lumber mill here. Instead, I'm going to have a place for our sail maker, which I'm going to put here.
Of course, you must be the new governor. You're welcome to drop in at the hill fort.
Hey, we met Manx too.
Manx, their chief.
So this is a friendly Celtic NPC. They have a little bit of a, a Celtic field up here, as well as a little bit of their own village. And then they have specific goods for sale here. So we can actually buy the wattle and dub and cockles here. So if we were in a game where we were focused more on the Roman and version of our empire, and we were building tiles, we could buy wattle and dub here. And then, of course, we can buy the tiles over here with the... So there are places to get Roman goods, and there's places to get the Celtic goods specifically. I actually don't need to buy these. They actually do request reed shoes, as well as barley. So I might actually try to generate some of those in excess, so that we can actually get some additional income going. Now putting a depot next to it. Oh, I might at some point. I mean, I do have free refunds. Like, I can always move these around. My depots I can't unlock. We actually went a faith build this game, so I'm gonna have better ships and production for my coastal resources. But I do not have early access to science. I don't know which is better. I think my normal playstyle, I want to build. I kind of like the science builds first. However, I wanted to embrace the faith build here this time. You do have access to build a villa again. Of course, this is the building that is the heart of your island. When someone tries to conquer your island, they're not trying to just take the harbor like they were in other previous games. They have to take this building. This is the villa. Now, the villa has its own combat strength. It has its own garrison units, so it can fight back. But generally, you want to produce units and also fortifications and put it somewhere that's easier to defend. So if the pirates ever try to invade me, they can attack my harbor. But if they don't take the villa, then my city will continue to be under my control. So that's something I'm going to try to build up this direction, I think, because this is like the most defendable. You have to they think that you should put it away from your coastline, but if you have it close to your cities, of course, that generates a lot of prestige for you. So that's a good thing. There's a lot of give and take in the game, which I find very fascinating. Now, before I move too far, though, I do actually want to figure out how I'm building my little area for my shipyard. Now, I can have my rope maker. That actually fits right in here, actually kind of okay. I could also put it... yeah, I don't know. Is this a mountain slot here? No, I don't think it is. No, it's not. Okay. Oh, the governor, or the emperor actually just met us. He's going to ask us for something in a second. I need to talk to him soon. Let me see where I can put my labor yard. Or sorry, rope maker. Now, the rope maker is going to need hemp in order to build rope. And then the sail maker needs sheep. So I can go ahead and put a little sheep farm next to it. What I can actually do, though, just because I like doing this kind of stuff, is put a little house next to it. You know, to be like the little farmhouse. And then we have our sailmaker here. I can even move the shipyard to be close to the resources here, where it's generating. So I'll be able to have my own shipyard here. And then the hemp, I can go ahead. We can have our own hemp farm. As well as the farmhouse here. And then we can have our own little area where we're generating all the hemp that we need. Let me actually adjust this just a touch. Because I want to sneak the hemp like around the sails. 75. All right, so then we'll go here. And then we have a fully self-contained area where they'll be building our...
How about I show you the ropes when it comes to ships? Spin you a yarn?
So the hemp will then be delivered to the rope maker, and the wool will be delivered to the sail maker. And then, of course, all these goods then can be delivered to the shipyard, which we'll build right here. We can start building our own ships. Sweet, dude. And I'm going to squeeze a couple of trees in here, too, just for fun. A little bit of decoration. These decorations, of course, actually add prestige to you, though. That's very nice.
I should be honored to conduct.
And, ooh, Tarragon's actually offered us a gift as well. He really likes when you build a shipyard, so he immediately offers that. Sad that they removed the modular segments of the villa, though I assume they will eventually add a modular palace in a DLC like Anno 1800. So what they ended up doing is previously, in a very, very early version of the game, right? The villa... Let me go to it. Was kind of a smaller building, and it you could build modules for specialists. However, that meant all of your specialists were kind of in the same area. Now you have your villa, and you can put specialists in the villa itself, but you actually do have other smaller buildings where you can put specialists in. These villa satellite buildings. Those replace basically what what you're looking for in terms of those modules. But it also allows you to specialize certain areas in a different way than was available before. All right, let's meet our Emperor.
Feet won't be easy. The Legion has a saying: if your attack is going well, you're walking into an ambush.
So he's a no-nonsense guy for sure. He doesn't like when you don't do things that he wants to be done a certain way. But right now, we could actually hail him to give us a +1 reputation change, or remain silent. That's a full send. Like I'm not cooperating with you, of course. I'm gonna hail him because I don't want us to hate us too much. We do want to try to build up our power a little bit and get a little bit of political power, right? I'll be expanding our little village here, though. You can see actually our workforce is kind of small. Let me keep an eye on our goods here. Make sure we're producing enough goods that we need. Demand for reed shoes is actually pretty high. So I wanted to actually generate more reed shoes as well. So we'll generate those over here, as well as a couple more reeds over here on this little farm. Like there, so that we can generate reeds over to the shoe weaver. And we'll rotate these buildings around so they look nice.
You're here. It is so nice to have a guest.
All right, here's the Emperor. You can actually keep an eye on your reputation as well. You can see here we're at -4. Tarragon's actually at -10. The Emperor doesn't like him for some reason. So what I want to try to do is I want to be more... You get different bonuses for being friendly with the Emperor, right? So, like right now at 0, you can reroll items at traders. But at, what's this? What's this? A supporter. You can, reduces the cost to settle new islands. So actually, like, so if the Emperor likes you, he'll let you settle islands for cheaper. You also get better prices from the Emperor representatives, and you can reroll specific niche traders. You can reroll different specialists. But if you get all the way to 100, it gives you a lot of bonuses. Defensive alliance with the Emperor, reduced reputation cost for war declarations. Like you pretty much get away with a lot more, as opposed to when he doesn't like you, when you actively have, like you are actively now in a rebellion to the Emperor, and he's going to actually attack you. All right, where are we at? All right, so I finally came back with all these tiles that I want to deliver to our trading post. That's going to allow us to build out our iron mine, which will help us start getting this quest for delivering some iron ore done. Also be able to generate this copper mine over here. That is going to then deliver all the way out this way, hopefully. No, it can't actually deliver all the way out there, so I'll need another warehouse over here. Let me actually finish out this production pipeline, right? So the copper needs to be delivered to these wire twisters. They actually reduce fire safety, but increase income and prestige. So I actually do want to have these over here in my little secondary village, right? So the copper can deliver to this. I wonder, can it deliver there, all the way over there? Yes, it can deliver all the way over there. Very nice. Sweet. And then once we get the smith's fashion needs completed, we'll be able to get even more smiths and then go all the way to their final need. I actually do want a little bit more population over here. Also, while I'm here, I might as well add a tavern.
Let's not get mud on me now.
So that's going to add a little bit of happiness in this area as we have a tavern. Nice. Right here by the marshlands. Hey, thanks for the follow. I'm also going to go ahead and build out a couple more houses in this area. Just to slowly increase our population as well. Now, I can actually generate my hospital as well. And actually, while we're here, because we have all these tiles, we also generate our city watch, our custodes. This will increase our happiness as well. So, let me see where this goes. Probably the best place to put it will be kind of over this area to affect as many buildings as possible. You can see we're at 700 happiness. That's actually pretty crazy. Anyways. So I need 200 smiths in order to unlock the final tier. So let me see what else we got here in terms of buildings we can upgrade. I want to make sure that they're in range of our recreation field here. And actually, let me quickly do a little bit of scooting some buildings around, because I'm going to be generating a new kind of block out this way. Now, this is kind of far away from our market, so we're going to need a new market over here. Right, to affect all of these new buildings up this way. Very nice. We've actually started our first festival. This is actually a big bonus from having a religion. The Neptunian Festival. This is construction speed is increased by 100%, and construction cost is decreased by 50%. And you also get a random specialist. I can pay 2,000 denarii to start this festival, or pay some just with cockle. I actually will do that because that means I don't have to spend gold to get that started. Let me actually keep an eye on my amount. What do I have in terms of cockle? We actually have a nice production of it. Yeah, 46 is going pretty well. And then I'm gonna want to have like another settlement, like basically all the way up this way. What do we got in terms of buildings around here? I'm going to want to upgrade these guys. Oh, you're not close enough to a market, so let's go ahead and put a tavern over in this area, because this will affect a lot of buildings that are being missed right now. You gotta keep an eye on your workforces when you're upgrading buildings, though, of course.
Twinkle among your cockles is a gift from the sea.
We stand waiting.
And then I'm gonna have my boats. I know I'm gonna need an island settled here pretty soon. And the island I liked the most was certainly this one way over here. But it has resin, has herbs, has tin, or was it this one? Dyes, tin, and amber, and it's actually pretty close by, and it looked really cool. Yeah, let's go down this way to settle. Actually, let me grab some wood before I go. So that's the next island we're going to be settling here pretty soon.
Lay out a pactum.
So once I get a market up here, I'll be able to upgrade some more smiths. And then we'll kind of like so we have our little landing over this area where we have the bulk of the beginning of our settlement. We have a nice tiny little extra satellite settlement over here for a couple more waiters, a little more cockle, and a little bit of production for some goods over here. I'm actually going to go ahead and expand it even more too. Just like this. And if you noticed, we actually just unlocked research because we actually have a positive island knowledge now. I'm actually not sure how we generated that, but I'm not going to complain. So this is actually unlocks the technology tree. Now this, of course, is very, very important. This unlocks a lot of buildings for you. This, whether it's economic or their civics, so you have like different things like the ability to build wells and watchtowers and latrines. You can also unlock actual different deities here. So you can see here the Cult of Minerva is actually focuses on generating knowledge. So you can actually use your faith to help you generate knowledge. You also have a lot of military technologies over here, things like repair cranes for your ships, but also better units, better armor, reduced maintenance for your woods and stuff, or for your forts. I'm going to start by looking at upgrading our trading post. This will actually increase our storage, as well as just help keep trade happening quickly in our cities. Other things you can actually queue up technologies as well. So things like market forces here increases the range of your markets. Is actually a good one to prioritize because that's going to help you generate more income. And things like the wells are going to help us in terms of focusing on our fire safety because it's very high right now. Now, fish markets also is a good one for us. Fishing hut and cockle pickers will generate income. Oh, that's actually a really big deal. As well as the spinners generating knowledge. Those actually are very, very important. I'm going to prioritize all three of those and then go over to the market. And I want to queue those up because I want to make sure that I continue to get all of that knowledge. So, all right, we should be able to upgrade some more of these smiths here. Very nice. And now I actually have at least 200 smiths now. We're at 600 population, 700 gold per turn. Man, you know I'm a Civ player. And then also, I'm going to get a little more in terms of buildings here. But we actually unlocked our final need. You'll look down here. So we have our food need, we have our public service need, and we have our fashion needs. Last is going to be our household needs. These are goods that can only be generated on islands that aren't your normal starting island. You'll see the drinking horn or the ceremonial shield. The drinking horn requires ox as well as tin to generate, but the ceremonial shield that requires dyes, tin, copper. Yeah, dyes, tin, and copper, as well as charcoal to generate. It's kind of a really big one. The shield beater itself generates belief and prestige, but it also generates knowledge and prestige, though. So it's a very good building. While the Horner generates population, happiness, income, and more happiness. Now, I do not have access to the fertilities on this starting island. For tin or dyes, I need a second island to do that. So the first thing we need to do is actually we need to sell a new island. That's why I was actually really excited to see the dyes here and the tin, because I can generate a lot here. Now, the trading post is only 9,000 gold here to build, so we officially settled our second island. Latium still wants to give us loans. I'll take that, actually, because I'm making plenty of gold to make it worth it. So we got some wood here. Each island gets their own patron, and because this island will be focused on generating tin for us, let me see if there's actually any faiths that boost that. Like mine production. I'm not sure if there is. Does Mars? I don't think Mars does. Nope, but what it would do, so if we wanted to generate resin up here, the certain Serginos could be interesting. Of course, having just another Neptune island is possible. And probably where we're going to end up going for. If we were building trousers, though, on this island, Minerva might actually be useful. For now, we're going to pick Mars. And you see we'll have 2 different Mars islands for now. There is one, you think? I wish they would buff Mars. Mars is actually really good for generating military, of course. You know, armor, charcoal. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Affects entire production chain. So weapons, so it will affect your iron and your iron ore production. It will affect your salt, pigs, leather, and sandals. It will affect your armor, leather, salt, pigs. Interesting. Okay, so that's actually better than I thought. So that actually does help, you know, specifically if you're generating sandals. So like Cersei's boosts not just bread, but flour and wheat as well. Porridge, wine, beer, malt, barley, olive oil. Ooh, the Celtic grain. Mercury is actually good. It just increases your passive trade income, which is cool. Horses, sheep, pigs, horses, Epona for... Okay. Yeah, this seems like the general Celtic boost, though, is Serginos. Everything that's needed to make it. So what I was looking for... What was I looking for? A way to boost tin. You can boost iron production with your deity. I don't think you can boost tin, though. What we can do is we can boost dyes if we want with a deity over here. So if we go, for instance, if we go for Cersei's, we can boost our... Nope, just kidding. Oh, it's one of the deities that isn't unlocked yet. Minerva. But we can actually unlock Minerva pretty early. For now, what I'm going to do... This island didn't have barley, did it? It does not. All right. Let me see. Right now, we're just going to pick... yeah, we're going to pick Neptune. So we can increase the cockles and stuff like that over here. So this is going to be the very beginning of our second island. I am going to take a quick break here, guys. I just need to use the restroom. Give me about 5 minutes to grab a water. Go use the restroom. We'll be right back. But when we get back, we're going to generate our second island here. We're going to get the production chain up for tin, and then also getting trade routes set up between this island and the other island, and everything required for that. We're also going to be building up a population all the way up this mountain chain, building things specifically like our villa up on top of this mountain in a nice defendable area, but also having a place for more of our Roman population, or the split population we'll be setting up. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. I'll see you guys soon. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. All right, cool. So, you can pause the game. You can actually keep planning your cities while the game is paused. It's a kind of an important thing to note. But I'm gonna come over here to our new island that I want to start settling. And first thing I'm gonna do is decide. Oh yeah, so you can actually see where the grid is lined up if you you can see here like the road is on the center of a tile right here. But if I was to move my trading post this direction, you'll see here the road is actually fully in a grid. This is a little feature of having the diagonal road system. So I like figuring out when I start a new island exactly where the grid is lined up. So right now the grid is straight up and down here, while the diagonal grid goes this way. So you'll see here building on the edge of a grid, like there. Or you can see building inside of the grid right here. So if you ever get confused while you're playing and you just need to figure out like a quick way of figuring out how the grid is situated, that's kind of what I like to do. This is going to let us quickly set up a new city. Now I'll just do this very, very quickly, right? So we'll jump right on in and we'll set up some cockle production here because that is boosted in this city. We'll have a couple of easy houses. And I want to build this island like very quickly because I want to get into the juicy stuff later on in the game, right? So we'll have a quick marketplace down, so we can hit all of those buildings, get a little bit of gold generated, and I will also go ahead and generate a little bit of reeds. So the reed shoes. So I wonder actually if I just drop a warehouse. Yeah, you can just drop a warehouse like just right in the middle here. I'll have my road coming out here. And then a quick little warehouse. I'll even get this thing rotated so it lines up nicely with the road. Hello? Road? Oh, sorry. That's taking wood to generate, to build bridges. So looks like I'm actually out of wood. Whoops. All right, let's roll over here to the Romans so I can buy some wood from them, so I can get this island up and running very quickly. What you always got to do before you start a new island is you gotta figure out how to generate wood. So we're gonna do that first. You should do this beforehand. But we'll have a couple of lumber mills over here, delivering to a couple of sawmills, which then can deliver to this warehouse over here. Sweet. But you'll see here we'll be able to actually plan out where some of our tin mines are going to go. These, of course, require the smiths to actually work, the smith workforce. So I will have to be careful. Looks like all the mountain slots are up this way. So I'll put this into planning mode, of course. And we'll have a road that goes all the way up here, where a lot of the smiths are going to live. Oops. You get used to using the new roads here pretty quickly when you're playing Anno, but for the meantime, I need a second. All right, come over here to our boats. Let's buy some wood from the Romans. And I might as well buy the tiles while we're here, because we have plenty of money right now. And I'm going to sail back. While I'm here, I'm also going to go to our harbor and make sure that we set all of our goods to sell above 50. So that this island will generate some passive income for us as well when we're not paying attention to it.
Don't be going to market for a friendly horse.
Once we get this island, some reed shoes will be able to generate our smiths, and then we actually don't need to go much further past that. Hello. Rotate this around. We'll do a similar format. Of course, you can make every single city unique, entirely your own. For now, though, I just need to get this built kind of quickly as possible, you know? So we can have a little bit of a reed farm, but of course, you don't need to do square farms. You can actually just stretch things out, and then the farms will automatically wrap up in different grid formats. You can also use a little bit of a brush instead if you wanted to. So I'd like to showcase that. If we put another one right here, if you go here to the farms, if you hold down, I believe it's. Which one is it? It's yeah, if you press period, you can actually just paint in farms instead. So that you can have very organic looking farms, which is kind of cool. Alright, we'll have a little bit of goodies over here. We'll deliver our big supply of wood and tiles. That way we'll have a lot going on over here. While I'm here, it's some of the waiter production pipelines are just like nice and easy, so I will generate them. You know, without thinking about it too hard. Of course, you can now also have a fun time with your diagonal block systems, so you could have like some more houses over this way, your own extra, you got a market here, and then maybe you have a tavern over here. This kind of really just opens up however you want to do your city building. There kind of is no limit. Like you could have different types of buildings in this little triangle section. Like there's a lot you could do with this kind of format. Now that I have a harbor built, I actually do want to work on building some ships. Ships are actually a really interesting thing to show off. Oh, I have no wood up here. I'll have to get some more wood. I guess I'll just generate over time. Hey, welcome back, Aquabite. Can I actually buy more wood? I can. There's also here little quests to do, so there's a little quest from the Emperor here. Some good men were lost on a mission to strike at the head of Oshkash. The Senate would like us to bring them back, whatever's left. All right, so there's a whole Scars of Conquest quest we can follow here.
Bodies of those that were sent to that unfortunate mission on Carrick Moor.
So I'll have my flagship doing that in the meantime.
Corin of the Skaha, Voada's husband. Keep an eye open while you're making the rounds, why don't you?
All right. While we're down here, I want to finish up this island. Let's see. So we've gone ahead. We got all the way upgraded. We got our fashion. You can see we can upgrade. You do have to upgrade your Celts still. You can unlock the ability to go into the Romanized residence instead, but only after you get to the tier 3 of Celts, right? But right now we want our smiths anyways, because we want to have a workforce that will actually get us the tin so we can sail that back to the other island. You'll see the tin mine here takes a little bit of construction materials here, but it takes 5 of our workforce from our smiths. So
I thought tunics are just the air on my chest.
upgrade a couple more of them, and there we go. We can actually start generating a little bit of tin, and then I need to get a trade route set up too. So come here. I'm gonna buy a little more wood.
Stay vigilant.
We'll send this back home. Who's attacking first? We're definitely gonna have some combat here with the with Vara up here at some point. Okay, you see we have a festival going on. That's actually very nice. We do have wood that's generating. We actually have a surplus of wood, so I'm going to go ahead and make another sawmill, even though we don't have enough trees. Just because it'll be nice to start converting that extra wood. There we go. So we have a little bit of a trading port set up here. Of course, a couple mines to generate tin. Now, let's see. Where's my boat? Here we are. We can deliver our wood to our city. And now I want to build a boat. So we have a couple of different boats that we can build immediately. You have the civilian one and the Legio one. When you can unlock bigger ships through the technology tree, specifically the military branch, right? Over, I'll show you over this way. You can unlock bigger and bigger ships. Or is it down in the civics, actually? Here, quadriremes here. Oh, and the trieme. Yeah, so you can, in the civic tree, you actually unlock the bigger ships, which is interesting. I'm sure you can unlock buffs for your ships in the military branch, but going back and forth, you're going to need a little bit of both in order to really maximize your naval fleet, right? So, how did I just run out of wood? Excuse me? Did someone just buy? I just delivered wood here. Sell one above 50. What?
We stand waiting.
I just had so much wood. I just had the ability to build a boat. What happened? What?
Never trust galley slaves.
Did this try and buy my wood?
Rower will defend himself and your ship.
All right. That's actually kind of weird. Let me sail to wherever this mission is. These assassins. That's so funny. Him, yeah. Someone just bought it. How did he buy my wood? Oh, that's my fault. I clicked this earlier. Sell one above 0. All right, cool. So I had my timber marked to sell. That's why we were out of wood. Okay. That's me. That's I had it specifically set to sell above 0. That's so funny, dude. Strategy games. I guess you have to have a little bit of a brain, right? Not be so dumb. Oh man. All right, cool. Let me keep an eye on my production pipelines. I need more eels and more tunics here. Oh, there's a little bit of a cliff here you can't build over. Okay, never mind. Alright, I'm going to generate a little more hemp over here. Like so.
Roman, come to defile yet another of our sacred places with your presence.
Oh, relax. Sneak a little house in there too. There we go. So here's the mission that we have that we're just playing. Confront Vajra. Confront her, yeah, we're gonna confront
There
her.
was once a little band of murderers out here, hiding in the trees. Praetorians, after the raid on my home. I found them. I taught them better manners.
Oh, sounds like
They tried to
Vajra
flee,
killed some
so
Romans.
They had orders to kill my family. Their ships still litter the Northern Sea. Why don't you piss off over there?
All right.
Taken the liberty of consulting the records, Ere, when it came to ships that were sent to the attack on Carrick Moor.
Oh, okay. So I guess the Emperor ordered an attack on Vajra, and we are now trying to figure out what happened to all their fleets. And it looks like Vajra just butchered them. That's real funny.
And it would appear that you have found them all. All except one. It bothers me.
We found all but one of the ships, huh?
If they'd made it to safety, the records would show it. I wonder, would you indulge my curiosity?
Oh, I guess they want us to sail up this way to look for the last fleet. Okay. All right, now that we're here, we can build. We finally have some wood, right? We can build the civilian one. Now you can actually so we have your trade boats and you have your military boats. Each of these can be customized however you want it. You can actually go ahead and you can actually add. You can add an archer tower to your trade ships. You could add a rowboat or oars to your ships. However, when you're adding these, it does actually reduce the cargo space that's available in the boats. So you have to keep that in mind. For my trade ships right now, I'm just going to add some oars so they can sail through the wind a little better. Because I should really only need about one cargo slot right now for my necessary for my tin trade route. And then I'll click the civilian. It does require some money as well as some workforce to build your ships, though. Very nice. All right, so while that ship is being built, I'm gonna actually work on our little bit of our villa up this way. So this is the villa we were talking about. This is going to be the building I need to keep protected. And I want to have it up this way, and I kind of have like a little satellite, kind of like we have a little satellite town over here. I want to have another satellite town up this way. So what I'll be doing. I also want to keep in mind that there is a little bit of a mountain slot here, as well as over there and here. So I'll kind of have these just mapped out by my roads. And then I'm going to put my villa up this way. So I like actually the idea of putting it right here so that it has a nice little entrance. Where the main gate will be facing the road, and then we'll have it all the way out this way. So this is gonna be an extra little area for us. I'm even gonna put things like the faunum, which I do not have built. Right, it is a religious shrine and knowledge building, but I'll have this built up all the way over here. And then the recreation ground can also go here, and this will be like the center of a brand new town. Right, and it can also have things like a market and its own tavern. And then we can have a bunch of more houses up here. I need to figure out exactly... Hang on a second. Let me move some of these around. Yeah, that actually looks a little bit better for me. And then we can have the roads. We can even do something a little bit interesting when it comes to these additional roads, because we can do some more fortifications around. Ooh, actually, I like that idea. Hang on. Let me cook. Let me cook a little bit here. So let me scoot this back. Oops.
Here they are, Eri. They did not escape. But as for what killed them, who knows? I see no signs of a battle, and the Scathach scouts did not mention them.
So we can have a little bit of a villa here, which actually could have a little bit of fun with a extra fortifications. Like you could have additional walls built around your villa just to keep it extra safe. Something like this. Right? And that actually works out pretty well with our little grid here, which I'm going to even stretch out just a little bit like that. All right, looks like our ship up here did find the last shipwreck. Investigate the wreckage. There's a pyre here.
We stand waiting.
Oh, what do we have here? A bone dagger. Celtic make, I'd say, but it's so small. I wonder what it was used for. Picking one's nails, perhaps?
Ooh, we found a druidic dagger on the pyre.
I should think. Woada might tell us. It's all very ordinary. We found the crew, but not the ship.
Hang on, I can't hear a single thing he's saying. Let me turn down the sound effects.
Requires your input.
Anyways, so they want me to go ahead and talk to Vada now, to see what this this druidic dagger is from. Alrighty, so we'll have our own another little section up here with a market.
Our scouts have sighted new land.
And with these diagonal roads, I can even set up something interesting looking over here. There's like a market and a tavern here. Oh, that's not quite working the way I wanted it to. But I was thinking about having... Actually, I'm not sure. This is what I like doing. I like putting the... like your villa up here with a couple of higher tier buildings and having another like town. Now, how exactly I want to do this is going to take me a second to kind of feel it out a little bit. I actually do like having the barracks up here too, in addition to all of the production. So, like this is the general idea: is I kind of want to have like a cutoff section from the rest of my village that is so it's like easy to defend, right? Where no matter what side of the island you would invade from, you would have to fight up this hill and through fortifications, the main fortifications up here. Yeah, I'm the light blue right now. I forgot to pick the color. But because we have this up here, what I could do is also create a little bit of a military production pipeline, where I have like an iron mine, as well as the actual furnace, as well as was weaponsmith back this way. The weaponsmith, of course, is a fire hazard, but it does generate a good amount of income for us. So, but this way, like if there is any type of like theoretical invasion, right? I don't think we're actually going to be invaded today, but if there was a invasion, there like this is a way to keep your production capacity, like your stuff actually ability to continue to produce more military if your military is also in the area back here, or even over this way where you could have like a separate production pipeline for your iron and your military, but it still has access to defending your main gate. Could be something that's interesting. And then you can focus on putting just buildings out this way. So let me do that. So iron mine up here. Of course, this is where I had a tree.
And surely not the last.
Oh, sweet. So we got the trading post improvement technology. That allows us to upgrade our trading post now.
Storage and extra loading ramps.
So that's going to increase our storage, upgrades the trading post. Very nice. We're definitely getting that part of the game where I'm like, have a couple different things that I'm being pulled into at the same time. But that's kind of the fun part of Anno.
Where'd you get that dagger?
Right. Vodna is like, where did you get that dagger from?
While recovering the dead, a group of legionaries that I believe had escaped your notice.
How? Where?
So we get to make a choice here. Cut to the bone. Vodna paces relentlessly back and forth, asking questions after questions about the dagger and its finding place. Where did you find it? Who was holding it? Were there any corpses in the vicinity? Any children? Any lost members of the Schnath? Anything at all? It appears Vodna knows about as much as you do here. One thing is clear: this dagger holds some vital importance to her. If you can't provide her with the answers, then you cannot. Maybe surrendering the blade to her will suffice.
Hot diggity dog!
Hey, Iffy.
This place is magnificent.
Welcome into the Anno117. So we could actually offer the dagger to Vodna, or we could actually keep the dagger and give it to Corvonus. It is, of course, some type of druidic relic that is important to her, but she did. It was from her killing legions, which is bad, but the legions were also ordered to kill her. So basically, do we side with her or do we side with Rome? We're Celtic, right? We're Celtic today. Let's hand this to the Vodna. Let's see what happens. Yeah. I'm giving it to you. Vodna.
Thank you. You don't know. You can't know what this means to me.
Yeah, is that true?
Go now. I need time to think.
Okay. Ooh, Aquawhite, name a city. Ooh, you know what? We can name cities. Let's go. Let's go, Aquaburg. All right, so there's our capital of Aquaburg. If someone wants our other satellite city, let me know. But we are generating plenty of tin over here. 65 tin. Fantastic. I'm also going to upgrade this warehouse to make sure that I can continue gathering tin. And here's our boat that we have. We can finally set up our first trade route. You can see I actually have 2 cargo slots. Very nice. But we create trade routes by hitting this button. And I'll click from our satellite city to our main city. We'll grab the resource that we want to deliver, and that's going to be our tin. Bam. And that's going to automatically start sailing and delivering tin to our main island. Once we have that tin, we'll be able to combine it with some ox farms. Now, these are going to be basically another cow farm that I'm going to want to have access to. We have so much marshland that I might as well put it way out this way. I'm even going to go ahead and move. I'm going to scoot this little eel. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Eel farm. So that I can build the road out further. And now I can go ahead and make some ox farms. This will be, of course, far away from our other buildings because it has a negative health effect. But I'll be able to create a farm. A little pasture in the marshlands for these guys. Now that can actually deliver all the way to that single warehouse. Fantastic. And then it says 1 minute to produce an ox. 30 seconds to produce tin mines. So I probably want 2 of these farms. And then you can play around with how you want to lay out your farms as well. I think for now I'll just do this. And then I'll be able to deliver the ox and the tin and then make the horner finally. The horner I'm going to generate, I'm going to put this in the center of my cities. I think we're going to put it right around... Let's see, income and happiness, right? So we can put it pretty much anywhere around here. But I'm going to put it... Sure, just right on in the center. And then as soon as we get the delivery from our first boat, we'll be able to start generating those. Hey, Uli claims the city. Let's go. Ulitopia. Welcome back. It's a quaint little mining town. You know, not too much going on here, but it's very, very important for the grand scheme of things. You'll be playing this later this week when you have time off. Fantastic. If you, I recommend it. I'm having a lot of fun. If you are the type of person, if you played any previous Anno games, oh, thank you. It is it feels so much like Anno. It feels like just a completely new vibe, but in the same classic Anno playstyle. But there's so much going on in terms of replayability factor, different ways to play, whether you're starting in Latium or you're starting in Albion like we are here, the different branching pathways, like we're picking the Celtic pathway here, where we have smiths and we're like really embracing the marshland and faith at the expense of research and, you know, those types of things. And then I'm going to have like another area up here that is going to be more of a Roman Celtic fusion area, which is cool. You might get too strong this game, just hit people hard and like the old AoE, yeah, Age of Empire days. Hell yeah, dude. Speaking of, I should probably finish out this military that we were starting over here. This production pipeline for weapons. So the iron will be then delivered to the furnace. The furnace can then deliver to the weaponsmith. Now there are different time processes for all of these, but I think literally just having one of them, one of each, is plenty for us. We actually will need more charcoal as well, so I'll put that somewhere that I can generate a decent amount. Looks like we got 100% charcoal production over here. So sweet. So we actually have this really interesting, like, double cliffside peninsula where I could actually defend both of these if I wanted to. Where I'll have my military production on one end. Oops. Right, because if there was like an invading force, they'd have to come like through here. And then you can have a diagonal path there, and then come over here. Hello? Into the cliff like that. You can of course have your own archer towers that you can build out, you know, to make invasion like impossible. But you know, then you can protect your main villa, which is actually double fortified here with even more. And you can protect your production pipeline. You can have your own barracks out this way, which I think we will put the barracks over here. And it's funny, right? Because I can even change where this little guy goes. Like this. So in a theoretical game where there'd be a lot more combat, say if you're playing multiplayer, like there's gonna be very interesting pathways for you to choose, where like I can even connect, you know, like all of this together, which could be really cool. You have to be careful though, because there's gonna be some places like rivers and stuff that, you know, troops can still go through, but you'll just have to be careful about where you're setting things up. Age of Empires 4 is lit as hell if you want to partake. Yeah, I that's definitely one of those games that I'm sure is incredible. So here we go. We'll generate our iron mine here, our little production pipeline, as well as a barracks. And yeah, military is something I definitely want to play around with on this stream for sure.
Never desert your fellows.
So we actually have plenty of income right now. I think now is the time. All right, thank you for telling me about trade routes that I already did. Like I can generate my villa up here.
Your own guards before someone else does it.
Bribe your own guards before someone else does it. Hey, all right, so we actually are able to talk to a couple of specialists here. You could hire Brutus that increases workforce, or you can Gallus who increases income. I'm going to do the workforce because I think I'm generating enough income already. Didn't realize Anno had a multiplayer. Never played any of the games. Yeah, no, it does. It's something a lot of people don't realize, including myself. At one point, it is really cool though. It is absolutely like I've been playing Anno with my girlfriend, Anno 1800, and it's been a fantastic time. We've been enjoying it a lot. Of course, we play very differently. We both like building pretty cities though, so that is something we both have been getting a really good kick out of. So, but I can go ahead and I can build even more architecture out this way. You know, and the fact that we're building, like, we're building diagonally right now too, which is so cool. Like, that's never gonna get old. But let me just kind of figure out how this kind of, oops. You know, this area is gonna work out. Because I want to have all of these buildings here. I'm gonna want to have a new market. That doesn't hit all the buildings? You know what we're going to do is we're going to scoot. Scoot. Oh yeah, that's gonna hit all those buildings. That's gonna be great. So we'll have something here. We can even put a tavern here too. You know, remember, like, it is still, we're still Romano-Celtic. Like, I want to have my tavern. Of course, we're gonna have things like our spinners and stuff placed around here when we need to generate more income. But of course, like, this is the idea, is to build my village up this way. Ooh, that's actually a nice little connector there. And we'll do that. I'm still figuring out this. Maybe we actually just put these in this corner, like this. Ooh, that works out. That actually works out. Something like this. And then we're gonna have a bunch more going on up this way. Of course, we're gonna have things like the city watch over here. That can actually fit in right here. Or even we can put a shrine that way. We're going to have a hospital at some point. Right. But at least, let's get this at least started, right? Oh, and because we upgraded our inventory, I do need to make sure that I change where we're selling, because yeah, we're completely out of timber again. Let's set this all the way up to like 125. So I can start gathering more resources. We do have a specialist though, so let me go ahead and actually plug in some of our specialists. We do have, yeah, this guy. Increase workforce. So I'm going to want to have a lot more buildings up here too. But the nice thing is, like, we can have buildings up this way, we can have buildings down here. Like, we have so much room to expand right now. Something a little like this, you know? The course is gonna give us a ton of like science and faith up this way too, once all these buildings are online. I do need to go ahead and buy more wood, I think. So let's come down, buy some more timber, construction materials down here. Now, Utopia is doing a good job. I'm sure they have plenty. Oh, I can actually increase the allotment down here too. You know, set this to like 125, and I can actually just come down here and grab my own wood to deliver it back whenever I want. Now, I actually don't have cheese anywhere. I could actually have another farm. I could actually be generating cheese on this island, while the other islands didn't have it. So I'll have some ox over here as well. Hello? Please? What is happening here? There we go. Alright, we'll start generating some ox on Utopia, and then we can send a dairy kitchen up this way as well.
There is a shortage of workforce in one of your cities.
Of course, this is going to need more population then. And while we're here, we might as well put down a tavern. Bam. Noise.
Whoa, it's fine garb, this tunic. Let's not get mud on me now.
Is by that wood we were talking about?
I'll write it off your tax report.
Oh, it's a write-off. Let's go. Alrighty then. I need a lot of wood. We're going to be significantly increasing our needs here. We're doing that thing again where I generate probably too much at the same time. Oh, we finally delivered that iron to this lady. I didn't realize we've had that this whole time. And you can see here, we can actually start training military units as well. Now, this is going to cost us some of our labor force to actually join the military. And I believe they stay. The workforce isn't just training them. The workforce is actually the units themselves. But we can actually train the auxilia and the archers here. I'm going to train one of each so we can see what they look like too. And I'll get them posted over here. But you can see that actually consumed a lot of my workforce. So again, we need to increase our population, which is something that we're actively trying to do by upgrading all these buildings, but we just need a lot of wood for it. I'm just trying to figure out what the best thing to do is in terms of between having like big cities or small specialized cities or what you want to do in this game. But for now, I've just been playing the way that I feel like I want to play, which is also fun.
Delightful.
Nice. All right. So yeah, our fire safety is really poor.
With it. Build institutions to better deal with such incidents.
I would if I could build them. All right, let's actually build another faunum, as well as a recreation ground.
You realize your whole city could go up at any time.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. However, I can't build anything for that. Oh, I can now. But yay! I guess because the fire safety just got so bad, they're like, all right, please build one, please. So this will reduce our fire safety hazard, but it'll also take care of fires if they do pop up. So there we are. I'll just place one down for now. I need to actually place a bunch of these down because I need to have places. I need to bring this fire safety hazard number way down, way down. So I will put one in pretty much all the main areas. Especially if there's things like, you know, wire twisters or bakeries or other things that actively cause fire problems. Let me go over to Latium Ma. Let me see if we can actually enter trade with her yet. Trade treaty. Nope, she doesn't want to do trade treaties yet. That's unfortunate. Let me see. How much does taking loans actually affect your relationship? Economic power. Let's see.
I've the urge to shed a life's wisdom.
Oh, there. Actually increases my economic power there. Which, once we've done that... Oh, yeah. Trade treaties are actually closer now. So the loans are actually very helpful for increasing your relationship to access... Trade treaty. Oh, there's our first military unit. Let's go. So here's our Auxilla. This is a spearman type unit. I may actually hit Control R to join them. There we are. Hi, let's go. My first army. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. We'll have to figure out a way to actually, you know, entice a little fight with the pirates here. Oh, the Iron Festival actually has expanded. Now she wants beer, roast beef, and sausage. All right, that's actually a lot. All right, here's my trade ship that is actively doing my trade route for my tin. It looks like we are finally getting... Yes, all right. So we have our drinking horns completed. That actually means we can finally upgrade our very first smiths into their to the highest tier. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go to pretty much this little area here in the center. Because they have access to pretty much, like, they're in like the center of our little area. These are going to be our
Stick to the path.
Tier 3 Celtic resident, the Alderman. Fantastic. Now these guys open up even more jobs, but have even more demands. But even more importantly, this actually opens up the game quite a lot once you get to Tier 3 resident. Not only can you actually go back to some of your waiters, like say if I go up here, I can actually upgrade back to Tier 2, but to the branch that we didn't pick, right? We had the Celtic units already, but now I can actually go Tier 2 of Roman. And I actually get access into going to a new... Oh, hang on. The Emperor wants tiles. I'll accept that. But now, Latium province. I can now sail to Latium. So we've made ourselves known in our little province of Albion. The Emperor has recognized us for generating a large enough colonial empire, not empire, but you know, province for him that he's actually wants us to recruit us to go to Latium as well,
So you do have
which is
convictions of
fantastic.
your own.
Yep, and now I can get even more guys. So,
Different
for instance,
provinces
if I
and
go
at great
here,
speed.
I can now upgrade to more of a Roman version, the Romano-Celtic residence, which now means that I have access to tier 1, 2, 3 Celtic, and tier 2 of Romano-Celtic, the Mercators, which is actually very, very cool,
Being recruited.
which is going to add other production pipelines. This is the stuff that we had skipped out, or we could have picked out earlier, but we have access to things like the wheat farm again, so we get bread, but specifically for the Romano-Celtic, you have access to sausage pipelines, but then also the Grammaticus. So not only do I have the recreation ground and the faunum up here, you can also get the Grammaticus and access to just a lot more up this way. But this also brings out what is basically an entire other, a completely new looking area for my empire, where I'm going to have my like Celtic area down here, in my own little villages, and of course the marshlands, and then my Romans up this way, which is actually really cool. We even have both units here for military, so we have archers, we have spearmen. Of course, there's a lot more we can unlock later on. But now that we have our Romanic Celtics, we can actually focus more on our knowledge as well, and getting that ramped up, so our technology tree actually gets increased. And then we see we have all 4 of these different workforces that will be all working in tandem together for all of the needs that we need. Now, let me very quickly try to satisfy the last of our needs for this area, because I do want to show off Latium today as well. But again, this is all about kind of showing that like there's multiple pathways to play Anno117 now. Like there's so much you can do and so many different branching decisions. And we definitely have way too big of a city on this island. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, I don't have any. Now, what I could be doing is I could be generating excess eels on this island. I could be trading this back over there as well. Let me actually go to my trade route that I do have set up, and maybe we will do that. Let's go ahead and grab like things like cockles or eels. Actually, I'm not generating any eels over here yet. Hey, swimming in circles was discovered. Now my spinners generate science for me, which is great. Okay, we just unlocked a lot of different stuff. Oh, we can actually select the crowd falls silent as they ascend the rostrum in the public square. You, a living symbol of the eternal city, will now find the words to guide them. Declare the value that will keep your leadership. Faith, so this increases belief in knowledge. The pursuit of knowledge, so that's knowledge at expense of belief. Or sorry, belief at the expense of knowledge, or knowledge at the expense of belief, or honest labor. Reducing upkeep costs. All buildings on the island have less fire safety and happiness, though. Or liberty. I think we wanted to pick Faith. We really want to see how far Faith can go in this playthrough. I mean, what do we need more cockles. I'm definitely at that point in the game. Oh boy. Hey, our reputation with the Emperor increased. That's nice. I need to make sure I don't run out of resources. Hang on.
Through the waves.
You can even start buying more boats too. We have actually a ton of money. I can buy boats from some of the NPCs.
Sail and oar.
And I'm gonna buy all of his cockle. Ooh, cloaks. That's interesting.
Call it cultural exchange.
Through the waves. If it must be anything, let
And we got a trade treaty with our neighbor here too. Fantastic.
What a boon by Cossus.
A governor can tell friend from foe by using diplomacy.
So way, Praetor.
And then I like giving keyboard shortcuts to all my boats, so I can hit 1 to go to my flagship or 2 to go to my second ship. What I'm trying to do right now is I need to satisfy a couple of the last demands of my city, and then we're gonna go to Latium.
What's good for you is good for me. It's all yours.
What could you possibly require?
Ooh, we've actually unlocked the Shrine of Neptune. When you get to enough faith, let's look at our religion tree. Yeah, we unlocked the shrines. We also have productivity, what, 30% for sea resources, 40% for sea resources in our first shrine. Nice. I'm actually going to put down a couple of these cockle pickers because I know we're going to need food like very badly. And I don't want to go...
Golden autumn precedes us.
Oh, sweet. Our fire safety is now positive. Huge. But yeah, we're out of tunics and we're out of reed shoes entirely. Hang on a second. I need to fix this problem. Yeah, I did that thing again. I did that thing where I overexpanded. I like built a whole new area at a bunch of big houses at the same time. So I need to make sure that we satisfy the demand for all of our goods. I definitely only... What, how many... I only have one woodcutter on the island anymore. Oh, right. Okay.
There is a shortage of workforce in one of your cities.
Yeah, I have a shortage of workforce because I don't have enough resources. So I'm building the production buildings to get the resources, but those new buildings need people to work. So I'm kind of in a little bit of a downward spiral right now. Oh boy. All right, that's fine. This is fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
What could
Drop
you
off
possibly require?
some goods here, some resources. There we go. And now I'm gonna do the thing. It's requiring a lot of wood to build that. All right, cool. We fixed our workforce issue. Looks like. All right, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm going to overproduce some of the basic food goods over on Ulutopia, and that way I'll be able to import them to our main island to help support our main island. And so if I go ahead and come up here, I can click the production of both islands together, and you'll see what my demand and my supply is. So I need to keep producing even more. That's crazy. Or no, yeah, actually. I'll make another civilian boat without any oars this time.
Waiting.
Oh no, I have a trireme right here. Hang on. And I'll trade from Ulutopia to the main island. And I'm going to go specifically for any of the resources for our tier 1 residents, because they're going to be very important for us. So that's going to be things like food, tunics, shoes, and eels, and just deliver all of them up this way. He has 4 trade capacity, which is great. I'll even defend it with my flagship. And then I'll just need to make sure that I set a minimum stock on this island. There's actually even more marshland over this way. That's great. And I'll connect it all the way up to the trading post this way. I'll even put some more cockle production over this way. As well as another warehouse. She's offering a loan, that's fine. And then... There we go. Now if we look between all the islands, we look at our production of our resources, and I sort by source. Looks like we're producing just enough tunic, enough eels, and plenty of cockle. Still not enough rechews. Oh no, enough rechews now. All right, fantastic. So that's a little bit of resource micromanagement that I just needed to prioritize before anything like terrible happens to our cities. The problem is if you like ever run out of food, it becomes like this downward spiral where if your population is needed for your workforce, but if your food runs out, you lose your workforce, which means then you cannot produce your food, and it's very, very nasty. So thank you for letting me sort that out. Now let's finally go ahead and explore Latium, eh? So you can see we can go to our world map. And you can see where we start is Albion, the province out this way. But now I can showcase Latium. Now that we have access, the Emperor has allowed us to come settle this way as well.
A beacon of power, decadence, the arrogance of man. Then fiery Ocassus gave voice to the god's anger, obliterating our mortal follies. In among the ash lay a chance for humility, for change. Yet, we mortals are fickle. Hubris rises in us again, and in a new dawn's light, the question remains. Can we build a better world? Or are our past sins destined to repeat?
Oh, Governor! Diana.
Hey, alright, so when you come over to Latium from the Albion direction, they spawn you just with a brand new ship. With a trieme, you actually get it from Diana of Augusta. So we'll have a new ship to be able to explore. I can immediately actually buy a little bit of extra wood from her as well. As well as the brick. And then we can go ahead and explore.
As do we.
Now in Latium, we're gonna have access to a completely different territory. This is technically the easier location to start, but we had a nice rough start. Even though we had that rough start, we already have about 1,200 population. We have an 80,000 denarii, and I'll be able to go ahead and find a new island to go settle. Again, I mean, of course, you can decide to settle wherever you please, but the generic starting islands will be in the center. Oh, I just realized the Emperor had a mission for us I completely forgot about. He wants 106 tiles. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I want to make sure I actually prioritize the governor, the Emperor's mission. How the heck am I going to get that many tiles? What do I have? 106. Oh, sweet, I have that. All right, so I need to send my flagship back up here. And then where does he want it delivered? Over to his lighthouse? Okay.
The men share quarters with their contubernium.
You can also just buy some of the bricks too, which is hilarious.
To preserve the peace.
But for now, let me go ahead. I'm gonna actually build out our first military ship. And it's gonna have a 1 ship archer as well as oars. It doesn't need to have cargo space. So let me go ahead and work on building another military ship for up here. All right, let me speed up.
New land.
It's because I want to make sure I do not miss this.
Waiting for your decree.
Out here? I mean, of course, I can be jumping back and forth between Latium and here now. Actually, I will be doing that very quickly. So Latium, you see, we have our ship. It's going around and discovering islands. We had this one starting island that's actually right next to Diana of Augusta. It has a very nice bay. You can see we have access to these gorgeous river, these mountains, these lake tops, the lavender fields. Dude, freaking fantastic. The other island here, also looking pretty open. You see, there's a lot more space. There's so much more space in Latium. It's definitely an easier start, which is really funny to me. But let me go back over to Albion, make sure I satisfy the governor's request. As my ship comes in. Ooh, fish markets was discovered. Fantastic. That was the technology I was looking for. Ooh, we met Dorian too.
I'd like your autograph on this treaty.
Oh, our cocklepickers now generate income. That's going to be really nice.
I run this island. Name's Dorian.
So you see this is actually generating income on all these buildings. So we met Dorian. He's over in Latium. And he's actually immediately giving us a trade treaty. We'll come over to him in a second. Actually, I'll go over there now.
Hope it's not too much of a stretch.
But we see he's settled here in Latium. Brilliant. Immediately have a trade treaty with them, so we can actually buy sardines and sandals and tiles and everything from him, which is fantastic. But let's discover that last main island. It looks like we also see.
Doesn't raise a sweat doesn't get you ahead, man.
Oh yeah, Tarragon is now in Latium as well, so we need to be quick. The world map is cool. The world map is very cool. Historically, a very Roman cartography inspired. All right, we are now here. Let me get.
Been building for 2 hours, Harry.
Oh, 2 hours, eh? You say? Oh shoot! I can only deliver so much brick here with 1 ship. Hang on. I need to borrow a boat. Oh, just kidding. I got this boat. The boat that I just built. Sweet. So let me grab a little more brick. I need to have 106 brick. Okay. So we got 6 here, we got 100 here, 106 brick. We'll come over here to the Emperor's Lighthouse and make sure that we get that delivered. Fantastic. The Greek himbo, dude, he's so funny, dude. Greek himbo indeed. Dude, oh man. Look at that mountain, dude. Holy heck. I am recognizing some repeat islands from game to game, but we were playing. Oh, dude, look at this arch, dude. They now that the game is fully releasing, like they had like the test maps for a little bit there, But now that the game's fully releasing, it should be actually RNG in terms of map generation now. Very, very cool. Very cool islands. But you can see here, if we're looking at the island fertilities, this starting island has lavender, it has grapes, it's going to be good for wine later. This one has markle and grape. This one has lavender as well as flax. But there's going to be a bunch of different things for us to look out for. I think we'll go with the grapes. I know wine is going to be important for our aldermen. All right, so we're researching our market forces to increase the radius of that, of our markets. I would love to... Oh, it looks like we actually unlocked the Albionic research, so we can actually go ahead. Woodland rebirth, yes! Woodcutters can plant trees on meadows rather than requiring a forest. So this actually allows you to grow trees on your woodcutters again, which is amazing. Ooh, Albionic water supply. Water construction. Allows the placement of Albion and coastal production buildings on water. Interesting. So there's a bunch going on over here. I would also like to get access to concrete at some point. Let's see. Oh, replanting. Charcoal burners can harvest trees and meadows rather than requiring a forest. Yeah, so I'll also be able to replant. So I'll be able to move my charcoal kilns and my wood cutters. Very nice. All right, we'll be able to start. Oh, looks like there's a ransom demand. Oh, dude. Voda, you look so menacing here. Oh, I look so sad. All right, she's requiring a ransom. 16,000 gold. Or accept the risk. Yeah, we're not paying a ransom, dude. Relax. Relax. I have some army. I can deal with you. I'll be fine. Surely. Just like previous games, the islands are handmade but randomly placed in each game, so you can see different islands in different positions, rotations each time. All right, yeah, I think that is it then.
Let us all so prosper.
Oh, fantastic! 10 reputation with the Emperor. That's actually a really big deal. That's actually a really big deal. That's awesome. Let me go ahead and look at the diplomacy. Let me go to my reputation. Yeah, so we're at plus 11. He's actually our favorite. We're the favorite now. Fantastic. I'm seeing my frame rate starting to drop a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and go to graphics. Again, we're running OBS. We're not doing all the crazy stuff on the side anymore, but I'm going to set the settings to low here, just to make sure I'm not missing too much. I do like the fact that you can actually change graphic settings like mid-game, though, instead of restarting. Man, this is taking some load time. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, that helps a lot. That helps a ton. That helps a ton. Dude, I still gotta increase my workforce more? Alrighty. Nice. What's our wood supply here? Oh, yeah, our wood supply is back, man. And we can officially build our wall. Nice.
Front line gets the view.
Alright, I'll bring my military down here towards our port as well. And, oh, it looks like there's some...
So much better than the last, Governor. Must be the absence of robes.
Uh-oh. She's after my boats. No! No! Ah, she's actually attacking my ships. How dare you?
Waiting for your decree.
Alright, where's my military ships? My flagships here.
Neptune's finest. Ready.
Please stop. Let's go! Take that. So I have... The flagship has both archers. So it's actually very strong against these little pirate boats. Oh, wow. It's dead already.
Die a slave.
Oh, please don't crash. GPU error. Dang it. Cool. Maybe I have an issue with my GPU. But I'm gonna have to save that for later. Dang it. All right. Hang on. I'll restart. I think there's a little bit of optimization I gotta get ready for things like Civ coming up. It's the naval combat. The naval combat was too epic. They had a crash. Alright, let's continue. Oh, residence is abandoned. Oh, I didn't build a road there. My bad. Alright, what's going on here? My game's bugging out.
Praetor.
Alright, well I know she's coming after me now, so I'm gonna send my ship over here. Couple of triremes I could buy.
We stand waiting. Neptune's finest. Ready.
Alright, I'll keep my fleet together too.
Sometimes I dream of sailing home. Then I remember my work's not done.
Okay. Okay, bud.
She floats so much better than the last, Governor. Must be the absence of robes.
The absence of robes. Okay, buddy. Alright, here we are. We got our two ships going after her ship.
What could you possibly require?
Who's going after my ship? We got some naval combat coming.
Salve, Praetor.
There's a ballista. There's some fire arrows.
Mariners, forward.
We'll take it out nice and quick. Let's go.
Better a wet grave than to die a slave.
Oh, Tarragon's trying to settle over on,
Time flies, as do we.
in Latium. Let me go ahead and go back over there. Hang on. Let me build my trading post. He wants to settle. He's settling over here. That's okay, because I got this island. Alrighty. So we are finally... We're finally here in Latium. Having settled in a nice little bay. Nice little defensive bay, too. And so this is the part of the game where we can actually finally start really expanding out this way as well. So we're back in the old world, per se. But you can see now that we have access to everything that we would have had if we had started in Latium, right? We are now with our Liberty. Now we have porridge stands. I can generate my lumber mills over here now, right? Which I can decide where I want to put those at. Okay, that's bugged. Market resources are discovered. Cool, cool, cool. New options available. But then I'll be able to figure out like where I want to like line up this entire city, because I can build up to like this massive mountain up here with its gorgeous lake and build aqueducts off of it. Dude, that sounds sick, dude. That genuinely sounds amazing. And then I, of course, can get some lumber mills over here. Now, the placement of the lumber mills are now actually less important, too, because we'll be able to grow our own forest, because we're researching that technology. That's actually a really big deal for me. That's actually a really big deal, actually. We'll get a warehouse here planted. Get this whole thing connected to our main harbor. There we go. Now we got plenty of wood generating. We can even get some of the native events when you start in over here. They're also still here, so we can actually buy his wood supply for the nice little start to this settlement. Now, of course, we can pick a new goddess for this island. And because we have, access to like bread and porridge and stuff, Ceres is actually a good goddess over here. And we're gonna have plenty to build. We can even get our little porridge kitchen.
Smarter, it's the governor.
Get this little guy set up, so we'll have plenty of food. And then when we need 20 liberty to get to our markets. Very nice. And then we can even go ahead and start exploring Latium. So this is showing you pretty much what the alternate pathway was like, you know, in terms of starting in Albion versus starting in Latium. Either way, you're going to get to like a similar setup eventually, but it's really cool now that basically both places can be the old world per se.
What will it be?
And it looks like Lacey and Ma has now settled here. So now all players are now
Am I not
out
a
here.
lucky girl?
And then we have access to even more spinners. Now spinners can of course be traded back and forth between both places, and then the Peleus Felters are new to this area. And then it's a matter of just making your cities however you please. Just like we've always done. I'm excited to see how everyone else experiments and plans to make all of their like initial city blocks. I tend to very, very quickly end up and kind of the mindset where I'm kind of building something that I've in the same way I always build it, just because once I figure out one way, I have a hard time adapting to new ones. But I would love to see on Thursday, if you're in the Discord, how everyone else plans on making their islands, you know, kind of stand out and pop and everything. Can't wait for Egypt. Yeah, the Egypt expansion is gonna be really cool. I think it's a little bit early to talk too much about expansion packs. I know they have a year one season pack in terms of if you buy the season pack, you get all of the expansions. So that's something to look into. But it's gonna be very, very interesting. So now that this settlement is started, there of course is going to be plenty that we can do up here as well. So in terms of getting all of our Romano-Celtic set up.
There's good eating on cockles, and not just for crabs.
Good eating on cockles. Yeah, buddy. So then we're gonna have a nice little, you know, Roman-style section of our town up here. I wish I could get rid of that pop-up. That's actually really annoying. There we are. Now, at a certain point, you'll be able to unlock better walls as well. So if we go ahead and we go to the tech tree, you're not going to be stuck to the wooden barricades forever, right? You can unlock stone walls, which are really, really cool looking. As well as the stone gates and stone towers. After that, I'll want to go into the improving our fire posts, as well as our night watch, and then also unlocking things like wells and watchtowers and latrines. Maybe even going Cult of Minerva, though, in some of our cities to increase our science output.
This may be worth your attention. As painful as it appears, a touch of civil unrest is normal in a growing city.
You know what else I'm excited for is trying out multiplayer with the Anno117 once other people have started. Yeah, so there's so much you can do here. You can have this little satellite city, you can have this little satellite town, you got your big Roman area over here. I had kind of like a little crossroads market square sensor set up. There's so much to do. To my mind, the cockles sound like goggles. It'd be interesting if once you build up a colony in Egypt, you could unlock the ability to build a pyramid in Latium, kind of like the pyramid of Cestius in Rome, which is built in the style, the Nubian pyramids. That does sound really cool. That sounds very, very cool. So you'll see things like the mercators here. They do produce bread. They just produce it slightly differently than you might be familiar in Latium, right? If we go ahead and we go over to Latium, and we can get to the point where we upgrade to our very first plebeians, you'll notice our bread is takes wheat farms and a grain mill, which will use river tiles, and then a bakery. While if you go over to Albion, your mercators also generate bread, and it is a wheat farm and a bakery. But in the middle, you have a mill, but it's a donkey mill, which does not require rivers because there aren't going to be the same rivers systems in Albion. It seems that Latium has land and rivers and mountain slots, while Albion has land and marsh and mountain slots. So it's fun little unique little quirks of having slightly different builds, but you could still have like, you know, your wheat farms and your mills like right outside the gates here. You know, having the luxurious like farms like right outside of the gate system over here. So
The crown of golden autumn proceeds.
ooh, non-aggression pact, sweet.
Time flies, as do we.
Defensive pact, sure, we'll take that. Tarragon offers you a treaty, sweet dude.
I welcome it, in fact. Lay out a pactum.
Alrighty, guys. Alright, guys, I'm kind of at that point in the evening or the afternoon, because we've been streaming for a good 4 hours here. I'm kind of at the point where I'm getting tired. my brain's starting to malfunction, and we've gotten to the part that I wanted to showcase. The Albion starts going from Albion, then over to Latium, and really showcasing what makes Anno117 really cool. Because you can play in the Latium start and generate, go from your free slaves to your plebeians, or you can go the Albion start. But even inside the Albion start, you can go to the Celtic path, or you can go into the Romanized path. You have a lot of roleplay situations and branching pathways you can pick in terms of where you want to embrace the Emperor, or you want to go against the Emperor. You embrace tradition and faith, or you embrace your knowledge. There are ways to play the game. There you can beeline one specific pathway in terms of each of the needs, or the other, or you can try to do all of them. Of course, in all of the situations, you can always go back, right? Once you've unlocked your tier 3 Celtic resident, you can go back and get your tier 2 Roman Celtic unit. There's so many different ways to start a game of Anno117 compared to a game of Anno 1800 or other similar Anno games, and I think that's going to be really the strength of the game, and really have add a lot of replayability to the game, which I think is absolutely cool. Again, my opinions are my own, and this video, this live stream is a partnership. It's not technically a paid sponsorship, but it is. They did give me free access to the game in order to relieve my review. My general review is I'm very excited for Anno. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be great. And in the meantime, I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to send you guys, those that are on Twitch, we're going to run over to our friend Van Bradley, who is currently streaming some more Anno117, his first, actual live playthrough, because Ubisoft just gave him access to the game as well. So I know he has some YouTube content for it as well. Guys, go ahead, go say hi. We'll bring the nerds, and I'll catch you all guys all later. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you go over to the Twitch channel. And if you're on Twitch for the first time, make sure you go over to the YouTube channel, where there's going to be a lot more Anno and Civilization content. So thanks for all today, guys. I'll catch you all later. Bye.
We need more of everything. No worries. Fine, I'll get another cockle picker. But more income. So hey, we'll take that. We need more.